What is up, RotoGrinders? Good morning. 11 o'clock on the East Coast. Early baseball. We got a 5-gamer to talk about. Myself and Blender, Jordan Cooper. Jordan rocking out to the music here. I see they said bobbing back and forth. I don't know if that's just that's the music, or is there something else good? That's the music. That's
I'm having a stroke, Dean. Maybe I'm just having a stroke. Maybe I'm having a stroke.
Well, do you have one of those buttons you can push, or
No. I got. We have a like button. If you hit the thumb button, that's my life alert, right? They'll send EMS to my house. So if I'm having a stroke, please, in order for me to save my life, we need to get 100 likes, right? Not just Spidey bombs. Spider-Man will come to my house and save my life. So you better do
I always say never stoop. I don't like to stoop. I don't like to beg. I don't like to grovel, but that is definitely next level. That is next level stooping for the likes, for sure.
Start slurring my words during the pitcher roundup. You know that we're down on likes. You know, if I start clutching my neck or whatever, or start drooping my mouth, that means
we do have
you gotta keep on subscribing.
I don't know. Producer TJ is here. I don't know if Spidey's lurking. It's early for Spidey. I imagine he's got to rest at some point. TJ will also jump on later to join Stevie and Kevin Roth. 12:15 on the East Coast, taking you all the way up the lock. It's just a 5-game slate. So we want some chat participation. We're going to need that. We got to fill some time at some point, right? We're going to knock this all out. No teams have a team total above 5 as far as this slate. The Dodgers are right there, essentially, if you want to round up. It's 4.99 if you want to get all technical. Clayton Kershaw's throwing baseballs for the Dodgers. It's weird. A couple, future Hall of Famer Clayton Kershaw. Lance McCullers was really good at one point. We'll see what's left of him. Severino's had a run at some point, but we'll see what's left of him. He is facing a Houston team that is, fully right-handed. There's a chance that Caratini cracks the lineup, so might be one lefty over there, the switch hitter. But unlike last night, I don't know if you played last night. It was, the Astros have played so few lefties this year. It's very strange. If you look at their season numbers, like 20 at-bats, 25 at-bats, they faced a lefty and they smashed. They were the chalk smash last night. But, hey, it's a brand new day. Yesterday doesn't matter. It's DFS. We care about today. And today only, Blender. By the way, the White Sox and the Mets are playing at 1:10, but that game was switched around because there was incoming weather. I think that was going to be a night slate. So if you see that, that's not on the slate, just so you know. The Mets and the White Sox, unless, as far as I know, unless FanDuel is something. I cannot believe they were proactive enough. It's possible that might be on the FanDuel slate, and I missed it. I don't think so, though. No. Okay.
It was, and then it was as of yesterday, and then in the middle of the night, they deleted their slate and posted a new one.
Okay, that's what I thought I saw. Yeah. Could have made it
sounds like FanDuel. FanDuel just, what ended up happening at the FanDuel offices. We know how FanDuel deals with DFS these days.
What happened?
Like the janitorial staff came in to clean the offices at like 3 a.m, and then they're also part of the operations team because they really downsized there. So while they were mopping the floors, they're like, "Oh, whoops, we better click a button on this computer here," and that's their DFS staff these days.
I did drop a Ross weather report. It's mostly for later this evening. You're playing stuff later this evening. St. Louis, Baltimore's straight orange. It's almost red in Philly. It's orange-red in Philly. Well, this is later on tonight. We'll be on later on tonight as well. But both the early games, I think, or Baltimore and Philadelphia 6:35. I think that's FanDuel only. I don't know why I'm talking about the night slate already. And DK cut off those early games, and they're starting like at 7:40 or so. But as far as our slate, the early slate, green, yellow in Detroit. The Mets game is yellow. We don't care about that game. And then the Dodgers and Cleveland is green, yellow. So I assume we're fine. Yellow, green, and Tampa. I feel like, not to play the role of Kevin Roth, but Tampa's always going to be like that with the pop-ups. It's just sort of that's the way Tampa is. You get those pop-up showers. I live in Florida. Sometimes it's raining in the front yard and it's sunny in the backyard. That's just how that goes sometimes. Sometimes if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. It'll change again. That's just how that goes. But, we got a 5-gamer, Blender. We got to fill some time. We got some tiers later on. There is no gimmicks today. There's no Wednesday gimmick. That's just where we're at.
The gimmick. I just got an email.
From FanDuel?
I got an email from Caesars, right? Because you get all these emails, right? You get the casinos and everything like that. Apparently, before anyone else, I have a special offer to see the 50th anniversary celebration of Air Supply.
Oh wow, they don't know that is not your wheel. I don't know your wheelhouse fully, but you like hardcore metal stuff. That is not Air Supply. There's no way.
No,
you
I
want
mean, the fact that I was on the air and I got this special offer with this special code that I could buy my tickets to Caesar Southern Indiana before. I mean, this is the type of stuff when you're a platinum member at Caesars, they take care of you.
Air Supply has got to be like at least 70 years old at this point.
Yeah, these guys. I mean, they have the photo in the email. This not probably should have left the photo out. Doesn't look all that appealing.
Are you saying is the photo from like 15 years ago from a PR
no,
company?
The photo's current day, minus the oxygen tanks, obviously. And
the
walker.
Air Supply. The irony, of course, is the name of the band as well. Your favorite Air Supply song, Bunder? You got one?
I couldn't name one. I mean, I probably know one if I heard it or something, maybe.
Yeah, let us know.
You don't even know. Are you asking a question that you don't even know the answer to?
I did Google Air Supply greatest hits. I'm certainly aware of their existence, and I probably know one of their songs or two. They had a run, right? They Can Love That Enough.
When they're celebrating their 50th anniversary.
All Out of Love is their biggest hit, I think, right?
Oh, okay, I know that. Okay, that's
you know that one. Let us know in chat.
I figured I missed their 40th anniversary and their 25th and their 30th anniversary.
What do you get them? What do you bring them?
Their 50th anniversary.
Platinum? What do you get for a 50th anniversary?
Well, it's not even free tickets. I just get to purchase them before everyone else.
What?
Because that's going to sell out, obviously, the 50th anniversary Air Supply.
Yeah, I mean is that how is it like a hotbed for is that Air Supply Kentucky territory? Are they big there in Kentucky? I don't know.
Knows. but 90% of my emails these days are just offers from sports books and casinos. They're just you want to boost this? You want a free $10 this? You want to? Every month when I go to Caesar Southern Indiana, I get a $10 Walmart e-gift card.
Okay,
I don't mind that.
It's something.
It's not. Yeah. I mean, at least I could do something with it, right? I played the World Series of Poker circuit. They gave me a free room for 2 nights.
How did that go? As far as the circuit,
I came in the tag team event. I came in second.
There's a tag team event in poker?
Yes, I'm not aware of this. Team. You have a partner, and then one person plays every round. Every 25 minutes, the game switches from No Limit Hold'em to Pot Limit Omaha. And then you play one, and your partner plays the other.
Ah, interesting. And how did it go? Were you the Shawn Michaels or the Marty Jannetty, and then this tag team?
I actually in that tournament I needed
that
more the Marty Jannetty. I was more of the Marty in that one, right? Well, PLO you could accumulate a lot more chips in PLO than you can in No Limit Hold'em, but yeah, came in second. We got 4,200 as a team, so that's fine.
The worst thing with and this is not my like PLO, like flopping the nuts and then just you're losing it. Like it's like you flopped like a nut straight or something like that, and you're never gonna. That never holds up.
Good, you fold that. That's a folding.
Yeah, it's the worst. I still know how to do that. I don't know how to like fold. It's like, well, can't we just get 2 blanks?
Why do you think I play so much live poker these days? Live poker. It's not as good as it was in 2005, but it's still good.
All right, 5-game slates. Brandon saying Air Supply is what I listen to at the gym. I don't even go to the gym. How about that?
That's not something you should brag about, Dean.
I know. I was just making a joke. All right, so 5-gamer. We have all the lineups with the exception of the Athletics and the Astros. That, of course, is a little bit later. Every other game is kicking off around 1 o'clock, 1:10. 4 games at 1:10. Kind of a sprint slate. We wait an hour or so. We get the Athletics and the Astros. Severino versus McCullers. We have whatever is left of Clayton Kershaw, who's really small sample, 37 years old at this point. He's not been good. Do not freak out about the last start. The last start was halted by weather. He did throw about 80 pitches or so actually in his first start. He's 7K on DK. We got to roster 2 of these guys is the issue. He was not good against the Angels. No, it's not. It's easy. What do you mean it's easy? It's easy to click buttons, but not feel good about it.
I feel good about 2 pitchers. There's 2 pitchers that stand out. It's very easy.
There's 2 pitchers that stand out, but Lopez and Peralta, I assume. Is that what we're saying? Those two stand up.
Yeah, show's over. We did it.
But they're not infallible. The show's not over.
Right. I mean, what else are we gonna look? Okay, Peralta and Lopez. So we have Peralta at 55% projected ownership. We have Lopez at 41% projected ownership. There's 10 teams on the slate. Their optimal rates, according to our sims, Peralta at 49% and Lopez at 40%. And then it drops significantly 2x below to anyone else. With them being 9K, 9,300, they both have the highest strikeout props on the slate by a fairly good margin. And you can fit them both in and still play a lineup with virtually, other than like an expensive, like all the expensive pieces of the Dodgers or something. Like you can pretty much play whoever you want, even with those two pitchers. So to me, the only reason you play not both of those pitchers is to be contrarian. I think there are some contrarian choices. Whatever you want. In my opinion, I'm going to try to get both of them. I mean, I haven't run SimLabs yet because remember, Dean, I've given in to the AI overlords, as I always say.
Yeah.
That I'm a full-time SimLabs user, right? Just whatever SimLabs tells me to do, I do. Doesn't matter. I could walk outside in the rain and get hit by lightning. If that's what SimLabs told me to do, that is what I'm going to be doing.
It's like when Michael Scott was just trusting the directions right into the lake. Is that your Michael Scott essentially?
Google Maps.
The GPS tells us to go right.
Right. I just follow. And the reason we're doing this detour, there must be traffic on the highway or something like that. And just wherever it tells me to go, I go. I'm assuming that when I run a lot of these lineups, I mean, I don't see a lineup that you play that doesn't at least one of them, Peralta or Lopez.
I think you're supposed to have one of them at least. Now, again, you're talking about they have the biggest K, totals. Okay, the numbers aren't huge as far 6.5 for Peralta.
6.5 at -160, Dean. That's like like a 7.2.
That seems wrong. Right. I would like to take that. By the way, if you want to book that, you want to take the over at -160. Slide into my DM.
No, I'm not. I didn't bet that prop, so no, I'm not taking it at -160. I take it at -110.
Yes, I won't lay -110. I'm not doing that.
Okay, but we're playing DFS, Dean. We're not betting on props. Even if Peralta gets 6 strikeouts, he may still be the highest scoring pitcher on the slate.
It's probably good enough.
Yes.
And Lopez is 5.5. You mentioned McCullers at 4.5. Whatever's left of him. At least he had a good start last time out. Like he was just completely shellacked, hammered, banged all around his first start. It was a complete disaster, and he's not fully recovered as far as his asking price. He's the cheapest pitcher on DK. It was Cincinnati that really got to him. He was okay against the White Sox, but everybody's okay against the White Sox. He was pretty good against Seattle. There's really no distance as far as if you're playing on FanDuel, almost no chance of getting that quality start. The QS. He's never really been an efficient guy. Even when he was good and he had like one of the best curveballs in baseball, he would still kind of labor out there. Too many walks has been an issue with him so far. 14.9%. Kershaw, this is 6 innings, right? So grain of salt, but his walk rate is higher than his K rate. 15.5% as far as the walks, 11.5% as far as the Ks. I assume that's going to change. I obviously this is not the Hall of Famer we've seen for 15 years. But you're not paying Hall of Fame prices either. I thought it was going to be Jacob Junis playing for Cleveland, but it looks like it's Colby Allard. I think Junis pitched yesterday, so I don't know if he's available to pitch today.
Allard's going to be like a long opener / something. I mean, we have his projected pitch count at 42, and he's 7,800. Yeah. You ain't playing.
No, so that's another way. You can just kind of work backwards, Splendor, and just like cross out who's left, right? Let's say, well, we'll just cross this guy out. I won't play him, and then like maybe you have 4 players left. Rasmussen's pretty good. His leash is terrible, right? But they don't really let him go. He's got to be super efficient to get to 6. He did that last 2 times out. 76 pitches, 81 pitches, 6 innings. Of course, the conditions there in St. Pete, Tampa, it's the worst ballpark to be throwing baseballs. It's going to be at 90 degrees, wind slightly blown out as well. We know about the dimensions. They mimic Yankee Stadium, Steinbrenner Stadium. But like they're 2 of the better pitchers. And if you give up a homer, Like nobody's getting the clean slate today, right? I mean, I guess it's possible, but you just got to assume that your pitchers are going to go up a little bit. I don't think there's going to be one pitcher that quote unquote breaks the slate. If there is one, it's going to be probably almost definitely either Lopez or Peralta. Like you said, like Kershaw can only go so deep. Allard can only go so deep. McCullers can only go so deep.
You're missing one. Are you just burying a lead? My favorite pitcher
Severino?
you have not mentioned. Yes.
Jackson, which one is are you interested? Is it Severino?
Yeah. Severino, okay. And according to SimLabs currently, Severino is the most under-owned pitcher on the slate. We have him at 23% chance of being optimal, but a projected ownership of 12%. And a lot of that ownership is due to the fact that the Astros should also be the chalk today also. I mean, the Astros have a 4.66 implied run total, and their lineup is like, compared to their projection, is the best value stack on the board. And we have the Astros stack as over-owned also. So we have the Astros stack at 9% chance of being optimal, their ownership around 15%. So like if I'm playing a contrarian lineup today, a non-Astros lineup, I think playing Severino. And Severino could pitch 100 pitches. I mean, he may still give up plenty of runs, but I'm just saying that it's like if Severino's pitching well, I mean, he could go 6 or 7. And at 7,500, if he gives up 2 runs and strikes out 5 or something, I mean, that isn't that horrible of a score, right? The Athletics win the game. He gets the win. I prefer Severino to Kershaw today in that 7K price range. And I'm playing 2 lineups today. I'm playing 2 lineups today, Dean. I will have Severino in at least one of them.
We just got Houston, by the way. Pena, Paredes, Altuve, Walker, Caratini, the switch hitter. There's the lefty, Myers, Smith, DeZenzo, and Rogers. That is the Houston lineup. So like somebody is no Dubon. If you thought Dubon was going to play, and no.
What are we going to do without Mauricio Dubon? That ruins everything, right?
I had my entire plan was based around Mauricio Dubon, but plan B. We got to go to plan B. And Diaz, the back, we got the backup catcher, so no Diaz doing the catching. Severino historically has been like pretty splits, relevant, but not so much recently. Like he's just not been great against either. But once upon a time, he was better as far as striking out righties than he was lefties. And this year, again, it's just this year, but 17.4% versus righties and 18.5% versus lefties. He's been better versus righties, but the Ks haven't been there. If you look at last season, a little bit more distinct, right? 22.2% versus righties, 19.5 versus lefties. And essentially just take the numbers versus righties and use those because that's what he's facing in 89% of the hitters he's facing today. Is that correct? Was my UCF math good? Caratini, the only switch hitter there, one of the 9 hitters hitting from the left-hand side. I think he's fine. He's probably my third favorite. If it's not him, it's Rasmussen. Again, Rasmussen can only go so deep, but this Minnesota team, they did get Royce Lewis back. They're still without Buxton. It's just not a very good team. It's that ballpark. That ballpark is tricky. It's been yielding homers. Best environment today. Roop and Job are just sort of there, but like if you're playing 100 lineups, they should probably both be in your pool. Like I'm not playing 100 lineups. You're not playing 100 lineups. We're not playing them. Brian Bayo against Milwaukee. He's not horrific. Put that in the back of the DVD. Rousing endorsement.
What analysis, Dean? Not horrific. Way to go.
Well, I mean, this is what we have. This is the pieces we have to work with. Again, you cross out Allard. You cross out. I wasn't going to say cross. I think McCullers could get there in theory because he's cheap enough, right? If you just want to say that no pitchers are really going to do anything true outstanding, he could get you 15 DK points. Allard is just unplayable, like you said, 7-8.
Yeah, Allard is the only one that's completely unplayable.
He did pitch. I was trying to find his minor league numbers before the show.
Play wherever you want.
There you go. TJ knows. We could have just said that and moved on like 15 minutes ago, but I do. And Bobby, shout out to Bobby hanging out in chat as well, telling us to play whoever we want.
I'm running SimLabs right now. 150 lineups. when this comes up. I mean, I'm assuming it's gonna be a metric crap ton of Lopez and Peralta. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, this is what I'm getting in 150 lineups.
And so they're saying play the chalk.
Yeah, well, at least at pitcher. Peralta, I got 59% of. Lopez, I got 55% of. Severino, I got 35% of. Landon Roop, 11. Bayo, 10. McCullers, 10. Rasmussen, 8. Kershaw, 8. Job, 1. So there you go.
Yeah.
No Colby Allen.
We have all every lineup's in blender. I love that. Athletics just came out. TJ's showing off the SimLabs there on the board. Take a peek. You can get yourself some RG Premium. You can have access to such things as SimLabs. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, MMA, PGA, WNBA, everything with the exception of NASCAR. You can just get baseball. If you want just baseball, that's all you want. A la carte, sure. You commit to 6 months. You get yourself, I think, 35% off. However, you can get all the other sports for free. So if you want baseball, a la carte, you can do that. If you don't want to see anything else, I guess you can do that. But you can also get all the sports, all the bells, all the whistles, the optimizer, and all the every additional sport you can think of, with the exception of NASCAR. But as I always say, NASCAR is not really a sport. We all drive. Most of us do. It's not. Come on. It's not. It's impressive what they do. Doesn't mean it's a sport. You get Dave Potts, Jesus Goods article. I don't know if you read the article today, but he made a fabulous Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure reference. So shout out to are you a big Bill and Ted's guy? You perked up there.
I watch it almost every day. Well, George Carlin's in it, so yeah.
Isn't it wild that George Carlin's in that movie? I always thought, how did George Carlin end up in this? But George Carlin from the future. Spoiler. Something is afoot at the Circle K, of course, is the reference. And kids these days, what are they walking into to travel through time? What is that weird object I've never seen before? Phone booth. You've seen the movie before, I assume. Yes.
It's been a while. Course.
Okay.
Of course. I've seen the second one also.
Yeah, not very. Yeah, not great.
No, but I mean, whatever.
The third one, first one. All right. Anything else as far as pitchers? You want to give me anything else when it comes to the pitchers right now, or?
I think it's kind of straightforward. I mean, I don't see a lineup. I mean, according to SimLabs, I don't even know if there's a lineup that doesn't contain at least one of Lopez and Peralta. And what a lot of them contain both.
What is the line? You're the sports book. You're the sports book. What is the line? Has TJ seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Of course he has.
Well, what's the line?
Minus 450.
You think it's of course?
Yes.
That movie came out before he was born. I'm fairly certain.
So, but he's into this stuff, pop culture stuff, and whatever. There's
what's
probably a comic book about it. There's probably something.
What's the other side of it? Minus 450, so I can get plus 300, plus 350.
Yeah, probably something like that. It's a novelty bet, so there's going to be a lot of.
There's some wiggle room, yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of wiggle
room. Well,
who doesn't see Bill and Ted's Adventure at some point?
I think he's probably seen it, but I think it's a good math bet to say no. I think it's a good math bet to say no.
Right, but it's a night. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. When did that come out? 89 or something,
give or take. Yeah.
And Ted's in 1989. I was on the dot.
Look at you.
Right. I would think that TJ has seen Bill and Ted's before he's seen something like Caddyshack. Or he hasn't seen Caddyshack. It was even young for when I was young. I had to see that not in the theaters. I was 3 years old.
Is TJ just going to leave us in the dark, or is he going to pop in and give us a big reveal? We got to know, TJ.
I've seen both.
You've seen Caddyshack?
Yeah.
Really? Look at you.
How do you not see Cad? I mean, come on. If you're a fan of any comedy film, you got to see Caddyshack.
I remember seeing it on on cable. It was on the Golf Channel one night.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
They did a Golf Channel movie night, and I watched it on that. But Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure, that's Canadian jewel, Keanu Reeves. I got to watch my Keanu movies.
Yeah. Well, you got to power rank Keanu movies one of these days, TJ, when you get on here.
Dean, that may not be a good idea if you and I are on the show together, because you don't know how to separate liking from ranking critically. They're two very different things.
Blender, we have time. The other day, TJ said that National Treasure is one of his favorite movies of all time. And like that, it's a fun movie.
Chat agreed with me.
It's a pretty good movie. It
can't be like, have you seen movies? There's a lot of movies.
No, I wouldn't call it a critically acclaimed movie, but National Treasure is a damn good watch.
It's a fun
movie. Especially when you watch it like your first 3 times as a kid. Like, it just holds such a special place in my heart. It was so cool and fun.
It gives a nostalgia curve.
That's what plays into favorite as opposed to ranking critically.
And it's also a movie.
How I feel when I'm watching it, how I react to it emotionally. Nostalgia plays heavily into it because that's my own favorites. But if I'm writing a review for it, it wouldn't come into play.
Okay. There you go. You keep it professional.
That movie makes you feel like you're learning something, even though most of the facts they say are wrong.
Exactly. My favorite Keanu movie, which I don't think is the best Keanu movie, but my favorite is The Replacement.
The Replacements.
I had another one I saw as a kid, and I just thought was hilarious. I thought Shane Falco was so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take him over Kirk Cousins.
Oh, for sure, 10 out of 10 times. He's got heart.
I'd still take Speed over The Replacements. I'd take The Matrix over The Replacements.
Both better movies for sure. R.I.P. Gene Hackman.
Yeah. All right. Let's Gene Hackman. Nobody thinks of Gene Hackman and The Replacements, but yeah, he was the coach in The Replacements. He basically stopped acting like the last 15 years or so. Anything else as far as pitchers? We can move on.
No, Peralta, Lopez. Wait until they explode and then everything just is whatever. Then it doesn't matter anymore.
So Don Yeezy's coming at me saying he thinks my opinion is so obsolete. I don't want to be this guy, but you're using the word obsolete wrong. Because if I think my opinion's obsolete, I'm saying it's worthless. So
I think your taste. I mean, Bobby Cole, he's in chat. Zero taste in movies. Out of all, I want to give you a compliment, Dean. I always poke fun at you, right?
Ahead.
There's always the 1-1-1-1-1. We got tons of tropes here. Out of all the people in my Twitter timeline, like. I consider that if you say something is a TV show is good or a movie is good, that is what I put a lot of weight into it because I think from a critical perspective, you get what good is.
I'm blushing. I'm blushing.
You have to say in reverse. If it comes to especially comedies, I'm the number one person. I will tell you if a comedy is good or not, and it's not if I like it or not.
Do you like?
I tell you, a comedy sucks. That means like dumb people like it, and they let The Hangover is the most like overrated comedy.
Oh, now you're taking shots at people. The Rehearsal. What's your take on The Rehearsal? We got to move on. But what's your take on The Rehearsal?
I've not seen the new season yet, Doug. It's in. I so much stuff, but Nathan for you is one of the greatest comedy television shows of all time.
100%.
As a former comedian,
it's the national treasure of comedies.
Right. Nathan for you has had me on the couch crying with laughter more times than anything else that I've ever
100%.
watched. Yes.
Did we just become best friends, Bunder? Yeah, I love that show. I recommend it to everybody, and nobody listens. But Bobby wants to know if Bad Santa is good, or is that also for stupid people?
No, Bad Santa's okay. Bad Santa's fine. I mean, to me, the best comedy of the past, the comedy film of the past probably 25 years is probably Mean Girls.
Okay.
And the most underrated one that people Tropic Thunder's there also. Tropic Thunder, another great movie. MacGruber. Right, it's an SNL movie.
Sneaky good. It's sneaky good.
MacGruber is, but you have to get what the movie is. Most people don't. They just think it's this dumb movie, and they don't understand that it's a satire.
What's the most overrated comedy?
Hangover is by far the most overrated comedy.
Wow.
I mean, Animal House is overrated as well.
I feel like that was you had to be there. I think you had to be there. Comedy ages differently, so I don't love it. It's not terrible, but I don't think it's amazing. But it was also before our time. So
right, but I'm
more
just
than any
judging by the
other
writing.
genre.
I mean, pretty much I judge most companies by the writing more than anything else.
The Hangover is pretty fun. Come on.
I mean, it's fun, but it's not.
Movie.
When people are like, "That's my favorite comedy film of all time," I'm like it probably doesn't even make top 100.
Oh wow, there you go. Fair enough. I like the blender. Is that possibly today's tiers board? I don't even know.
No, it's not.
TJ said we have to watch the studio. I've not had a chance to start it, but I'm looking forward to it. I hear it's spectacular on the Apple. I do want to watch that. I think the entire season's up there now. Yeah, just haven't, like you said, just time. I do want to see the studio on Apple. Supposed to be spectacular. But all right, what is today's tiers board? We're gonna throw some teams into tiers. What's our board?
This past Thursday, me and my wife got a new dog. We got a
congratulations.
7-8 week old puppy. So
what brand?
What brand? Samsung.
Breed.
We got a Samsung dog. What
You got a Samsung? You got a warranty on that?
What breed? But no, there's a brand. Yeah, we got a Target dog versus a Walmart dog. I mean what's brand?
What is the breed of your dog you just got?
It's a mix of Boston Terrier Yorkie mix.
Okay, and you said it's a 7 weeks, 7 months?
8 weeks old.
Oh, that's awesome.
About this big.
Yeah, and is this your only one in the house right now?
Yeah, I mean our dog from before died on Halloween after about 14 years. So my wife took time for my wife to be ready for a new dog, and she found it through some shelter or something. And so that's why the tiers list I ranked pets.
That's funny because somebody did this the other day. It's just coincidentally enough.
Really?
I think it was a wrong.
Really? Am I repeating that?
I wasn't on the show for the record. I think they did it when I was away, or I think TJ and Roth might have did it. Might have been on. Maybe it was Tim. I can't remember who did it, but somebody did it.
So what was their tier list?
Roth's list was. I'll pull yours up here. Roth's was dog, cat, bird last, snake second last, and hamster in the middle.
Okay, so we're pretty much on the same wavelength.
Roth is very anti-bird.
No, but see, I'm not anti. See, the thing about I put bird in the middle because it was more of a concept. I've never had a bird as a pet. I've never known anyone with a bird as a pet, but I've seen people with videos of parrots as a pet, and they seem to probably higher maintenance, but seem kooky. Seemed like, oh, that would be fun to have as a pet. So that seems fine. Like dog and cat, obviously, at the top of the list. Some people would
not
close. Cat before dog.
1, 2, very easy.
That's fine. The thing on the bottom is that if you have an amphibian as a pet, at least this is my list and it's biased. Whatever.
Of course.
The only people I knew to have like an iguana as a pet is like I was in like elementary school and like the weird kid that brought in like the ethnic food that his mom made that smelled like crap during lunch. And then you become friends with him and end up you being the only one to go over his house. That kid had a pet iguana. Like that was that like the weird girl that theater girl that had smelly armpits or whatever. And like that's like I don't know if she has
we're offending everybody in this sentence.
That type, they have pet salamanders. Like that's any amphibian is just to me, at least from my experience, that type of person. And then fish isn't a pet. Like fish is there almost like there's no you don't take a fish for a walk. You don't go to the fish park and have socialization with other fish. Fish is basically the difference between
it's decoration. Fish is decoration.
Yeah, it's a lifelike painting that you keep.
It looks cool. It's a painting that moves.
I'd like to see a video of Blender taking a cat, a bird, and an iguana for a walk.
So I would just say, like, add on the person that has like the parrot on their shoulder or the iguana on those, or like the snake around they make that their entire personality. Sometimes it's like, well, if we take away the snake or the iguana, what are you? that's their entire personality. It's cool. You could be what you are and have a snake, but sometimes they just build what they are around this. You understand? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, but I think I prefer bird guy to snake guy. Like the guy with the parrot on his shoulder feels like he's got a story to tell. The guy with the snake is just get the hell away from me.
He's right. Pirates can tell a really good story.
Tortoise can live up to like 120 years. So like if you somebody gives you a tortoise that's yours for the rest of your life, or you're just dumping it off at I don't know where you dump a tortoise off. But I was thinking that might be the worst pet to have, because also do you pet a tortoise? What do you do with a tortoise? I don't know.
No, but you can take a turtle for a walk. I looked at it.
You want to take a tortoise? You have that kind of patience to take a tortoise?
Why not? What
for
else
a
do
walk?
I have to do? What the hell? What doing here? What else do I have to do? I'm going to do my show, and then I'm going to take my turtle for a walk. What's wrong with that? I can do that.
How far do you go? How many steps?
I mean, probably just down the driveway, but whatever. I don't care. It's about an hour walk for the turtle. That's fine.
All right.
The turtle needs to get his steps in. You put the little fitness tracker on the turtle, and whatever. Let him go.
But they can legit live like 120 years or something goofy like that. But all right. Is there anybody we missed? JB's asking about weather issues. I'll go ahead and drop Roth's weather page. He's coming on as well. The long and short of it,
there's nothing for this early slate. There's nothing really to worry about, right?
There's a chance of a pop-up in St. Pete, Tampa, but otherwise we should be fine.
It's Florida. What do you expect? That's all of Florida. I mean, Florida is that's the way it is always.
Later on, we're not concerned with that, but later on, it's going to be pretty dicey. We might have a couple of rainouts. We might actually have the slate change times, because there's two games that start at 6:45 or 6:35 in Baltimore. St. Louis as well as Atlanta, Philly might both get potentially wiped out, and then all of a sudden we're jumping to like 7:40 or so. But stay tuned for that. This is DFS, which means we care about today and today only. In the first half of today only, we're not talking about the night slate just yet. Let's throw some teams and some tiers. We have all the lineups out. Blender. Pablo Lopez, the best pitcher throwing baseballs today. I think we can say that, right? Biggest K rate on the slate. Lowest Sierra, 3.09 Sierra. No, it's not the greatest K rate. It's good, 26.6%, but it's not elite. That's kind of what I was referring to earlier. Taking on Tampa. Anything goofy with their lineup today? Tampa generally just kind of plays it straight as far as the platoon. I think they're without there. No, Jansen is in there, the catcher. So Diaz not leading off. He's in the 3 hole, so they kind of shuffled their lineup up a little bit. But it is looks like the usual suspects for the Rays. Still Buxton being out for Minnesota. Otherwise, that's pretty standard. We have Royce Lewis back in the lineup. Jeffers, catcher in the 2 hole. Where do we have the Twins and the Rays? Best hitting environment, but 2 of the better pitchers.
The thing about today's slate, I think this is more of a stacks game than a pitcher. I think there are way more. If you were playing 10 lineups, you could make the case for playing literally every one of every team. There's going to be no team. There's no fish tier teams today. Okay. They're bad teams on the slate, but there's no fish tier teams. Pitcher-wise, like, it's very, very narrow. So I think Tampa Bay against Lopez, if Lopez is going to be 42% owned, normally I would have put Tampa in the iguana tier. But they're a bird tier team because just due to leverage. Because according to SimLabs, like, the difference between Tampa's optimal rate and like the top tier is like not that dramatically different. And I'll take the extra leverage by playing bats against Pablo Lopez versus playing Twins bats against Drew Rasmussen, because I don't think Rasmussen is going to be nearly as owned. So I would put both teams, Minnesota and Tampa Bay, in the bird tier.
Right smack in the middle.
They're fine.
Yeah. By the way, are you willing to roster a hitter against your pitcher today?
I mean, I guess so, but I mean, I don't think you need to.
You're not going out of your way to do it, but I mean, I'm just sort of asking, like, if you're okay with that. You're a hand builder. Obviously, if you're doing it with our tools, you could tell it, I don't want any, or you could say maximum 1. What would you tell the tool? Would you say maximum 1, or would you say no?
Well, SimLabs is just going to tell me that sometimes the lineups come up with a pitcher against my bed, and then SimLabs says it's okay.
Yeah,
I don't mind. Google Maps says that road's there, and it's even though
right
the overpass is not completed, I'm just going to be going 55, and I'm going to go right over. Just boom. That's what Google Maps said. The AI, the AI overlords can never be wrong.
Until they are.
Other than the fact that ChatGPT thinks, Dean, you still have kids.
Yeah, that was weird, right? Why did it say that? Unless
I don't know.
maybe I'm not
Anytime I
aware.
look, give me a biography of Dean Shavelson from RotoGrinders. Says that you have 2 kids. I don't know why.
It's news to me. What was that, TJ?
And Google is absolutely broken. Ever since they switched the blurb from like the top article to the AI summary, it's literally wrong 50% of the time.
I've looked at. I'm like, wait, this doesn't seem correct, and then you all of a sudden you start fact checking Google, and then like, what's the point? Why even have Google? But they got to sell their ads, and they got to make money too, I suppose, right? Okay, so we got both teams smack in the middle. Dodgers, best team on the board, taking on Colby Allard and whatever is coming out of that bullpen. Junis did pitch yesterday, like 30 pitches or so. So I was trying to think who the long man would be. 21 pitches and threw 28 pitches on Sunday. I was trying to see who was rested for them. Cade Smith, but he's kind of like more of their like 6th, 7th, 8th inning guy. I don't know who's coming out, basically. I was trying to figure out who might be coming behind Allard, but maybe Junis gets a little bit, but he did pitch yesterday, 21 pitches and 28 on Sunday. Probably can go an inning or two, but I guess it'll just be a collection of nonsense. Really can't predict that. Lefty starting as well, so we might get some pinch hit shenanigans depending on. But maybe the Dodgers, I guess they didn't really start any lefties outside of their regulars in Ohtani and Freeman, right? So maybe we get some pinch hit stuff if Reddy come in, but this is what we're going to do. It's a 5-gamer. Dodgers best team on the board. Clayton Kershaw, not the same guy he once was. That's pretty clear. Last time out, he was wiped out by rain, so he only threw 2 innings. Maybe he throws 75 pitches. Where do we have the Dodgers and the Guardians? Like J-Ram is somebody you can play with Kershaw. Like you could do something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not playing Kershaw today, but
yeah,
I don't know how much. I don't know. I mean, how much of this game I'm playing in general. SimLabs really doesn't show. The Dodgers are just the stacks are expensive, which means you probably have to play cheaper pitchers or like punt in 2 hitting spots. So it doesn't seem to like it all that much. Prefers the Guardians, but I'm not a big fan of even playing the Guardians in the spot either. I'm going to put the Dodgers. They're going to go in the bird tier. I mean, from an upside perspective, they have the highest optimal rate at 18%.
Sure.
They have one of the higher ownerships, and they have the lowest value, so it's just tough to use them. So I'm just knocking them down to the bird tier. You can play them; they're fine. I'm not. And the Guardians have a 4% off. They have the second lowest optimal rate on the board. I'm probably not going to play bats against Kershaw. So I mean, I put the Cleveland in they're hanging out with the Iguanas.
I was looking at the Dodgers bench. They have 4 lefties in the bench: Rushing, Kim, Conforto, and Muncy. Pretty good. I mean, if it scores 10-0 in the 3rd inning, like whatever, but feels like a pretty decent chance. Something like Miguel Rojas doesn't necessarily last this game. Not that you're ever excited about rostering Rojas, but he's like a cheap player that helps your stack out, I suppose. Kike Enrique Hernandez, maybe he gets the hook. Everybody else should stick around. But those 2 guys in the back end, Hernandez and especially Rojas, seems like the one that's most vulnerable to the pinch hit. Again, Allard maybe goes, what do we have, 40 pitches or so, something like that, 45. What's our median number for Allard as far as pitches? I know you said it earlier in the show.
42.
Yeah, 40 to 45. And then it'll just be a collection coming out after that. All right, so a lot of people hanging out with birds. You want to get a bird that talks, right? Like, is that good or bad? Because maybe it's annoying when it talks and just repeats and tells your lies and tells your stories. I want to have conversation.
Who am I gonna, but now you did with that. See, the thing is that me and you only do a show seemingly once a month now. I need to have something to talk about with what favorite movies and TV shows and tier lists. I need to talk with a bird if I'm not going to talk with you.
I'll give you my. Do I have to talk like a bird, or can I talk just the way I talk? I mean, I don't want to.
I can have a parrot that talks like you. Why not? Just like doesn't have to be the traditional like that type of thing. No, I'll train it to talk like you.
Flintstones bird. All right, so bird is very popular. I wonder if we're gonna. You're under no obligation contractually to put at least one team in every tier. You understand this?
No, I know.
I
I
don't know what
told
you
you there's
signed.
no fish tier. The 5-game
Yeah.
slate. You can play any of these stacks. There's going to be a dog team, but there's not going to be a fish team.
Huh. I think I know what the dog team's going to be.
Okay.
I think. I think I know. It's weird. Like I don't agree that Houston is like this big favorite over the Athletics today. I don't like that number, -155. I was thinking about betting the Athletics actually first 5. I think the Athletics, if there's like a first 5, if there's a team in the dog and it's not the Dodgers, I think it's the Athletics. But you tell me. We'll get there in a second. I don't think it's San Fran or Detroit. Landon Roop, Jackson Jobe, ballpark bump for the Giants because everything is a ballpark bump for the Giants. And they get out of San Fran. There's no Javi Baez today for Detroit, who's actually been pretty good this season. Jobe's, uber prospect. We haven't quite seen it. 7.5 total. Detroit is a slight favorite. This game looks pretty uneventful. If this was like a 12-game slate, I don't even know if we'd acknowledge this game, but we're down to 5, so we have to talk about it. This is 20% of the slate, give or take. No, it's exactly 20%. Where do you have the Giants and Detroit?
Okay, we have to acknowledge this game, Dean.
Yeah, I just did. I said it's happening.
I think we should acknowledge it. Detroit's in the iguana tier. I'm not playing the Tigers today. The Tigers, according to our Sims, have a 3% chance of being optimal against Landon Roop. I'd much rather play Roop than the Tigers. And our only dog tier team on the slate is the San Francisco Giants.
Really?
They have according to our Sims, they have 13.5% chance of being optimal. They're not going to be nearly as owned as half the other teams on the slate. They have one of the best values on the slate in their lineup by playing, they have 3 guys on the bottom of their lineup that's 2K. You could play Peralta and Lopez easily take 4 of the top 6 batters and 1 of the 2K guys. You got a San Francisco stack. You got decent one-offs in the rest of your lineup. Yeah, I'm putting the Giants. The Giants are wolfing it up in the dog tier today, even though they have a low implied team total. But this is a slate that doesn't have high implied team totals. It's like, yeah, I know 3.66 is nothing to, but I mean, half the teams have 3. I mean, it is the 5-game slate, and no one is like slated to score a ton of runs. So it's not like I need the Giants to score 10. The Giants score 7 runs. That could be perfectly fine.
Well, how do you score them if they're all singles and doubles and walks? You need homers.
They have a ballpark upgrade, Dean. You just said.
Yeah,
all home runs at this point.
Slate IQ is telling us the first 6 guys are in the green when it comes to ISO and WOBA, and the back 3 that are cheap, for rightfully so, have been bad this season when it comes to WOBA and ISO as well. Jobe is one of the worst pitchers that's throwing baseballs today. He's got the lowest Sierra if you throw out Kershaw in his 6 innings. I'm sorry, the highest Sierra. It's over 5. Nothing special. We haven't really seen it just yet. The Ks haven't been great, 17.9%. And I love when I'm stacking a team. I love a pitcher that can't throw strikes sometimes, 12.3% as far as walks. We do like that as well. What'd you name the dog? Give me the backstory. How do we get the dog's name?
The name the Foster family already named the dog.
You inherited the name. You could have dubbed it.
But my wife liked the name. His name is Simon.
I like a dog with like a human name. like Ralph or Bob.
Yeah, Simon. His name is Simon.
Simon. Okay.
Yes.
So at no point did you consider give it the old switcheroo? It's just Simon.
No, it was one of the reasons my wife picked the dog to begin with, because 2 of her favorite YouTubers are named Simon. So It was a sign. It was a sign.
Is this a different genre than I'm assuming it's not a Simon? She's not watching DFS stuff. She's watching a different genre. No. That doesn't.
Yeah.
Simon's totally I'm not aware of.
Totally different genre. Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, but apparently telling the story about somebody in chat talking about this is one of the downsides, I guess, of having a bird. His friend had a bird. Was cleaning the cage, opened the cage, and the bird flew right into the ceiling, which is terrible. That's tragic.
It's a dumb bird. Who wants that bird anyway? That dumb bird.
But don't in the manual when they hand you the bird, don't they say like tip number 1, make sure turn the fans up. I don't know. I've never owned a bird before, But I thought it was going to end with this, like the bird just flew away, which I could say, which I guess that was the attempt there. But that is unfortunate.
Sounds like his friend was bird brain. This is why you should trust me for comedy movies, because the great.
I mean I wouldn't put that on the reel. I wouldn't put that one on the reel. might want to edit that one out. All right, next game up, it's Boston. It's Milwaukee. 7.5 total. Milwaukee is the slight favorite. Freddie Peralta, one of the better pitchers, taking the bump against Boston. Obviously, Bregman is still out here for the Red Sox. We do have the backup catcher in Connor Wong. So they're starting off with 4 lefties. They're breaking all the rules. You're not allowed to do that. Like
they're not allowed. Managers should be thrown out of baseball.
Most managers would get fired on the spot if they put out a lineup card.
Get demoted to AAA. They should be removed. Yeah. Their franchise should be removed.
That's a great idea. Managers are never demoted to AAA. We should start that.
Right. We should send the manager down to AAA. Send him down for
let him learn how to manage a little better. You got him signed. You have him signed for the next 3 years, right? You're just going to pay him out, let him just go to the Bahamas for a bit? No. Send him down to AAA. Send him to AA.
Send him to Japan. Send him out. Get out of here.
I love the idea of demoting the manager to AA or AAA. It's never happened before. But 4 lefties. Again, this is a rule breaker here in Boston. Duran, Devers, Abreu, the rookie mayor, starting off against Peralta. A lot of lefties. How many righties are we actually in? Is it 3? Trevor Story, who's just been horrendous. Connor Wong and Raphael. He actually started off pretty well this season, and then it went straight downhill. First Spidey bomb, by the way. We do have Spidey. He's up. He's lurking.
My mouth is starting to droop. In addition to the Spidey bomb, you actually get to save my life, right? Because I'm going to have a stroke, and you're going to need to save me by hitting the like button. Right?
It's a callback to the start of the show, which most people probably weren't here for. We get a bigger audience as the show leads in the lock, leads in the crunch time. Yeah, the Red Sox and the Brewers. Shout out to Milwaukee. Shout out to Christian Yelich, who banged out a walk-off grand slam last night. Doesn't get better than that. Who's missing? Is it let's see. Is there no Hoskins? I'm not saying Hoskins for Milwaukee. No Reese Hoskins. Change everything. Where do you have Boston and Milwaukee?
Okay, so according to our Sims here at RotoGrinders, Boston 5% chance of being optimal. They are cheap. They are going to be probably the lowest owned stack. Boston, I mean, no one's in the fish tier. Peralta is going to be the highest owned pitcher. In large field tournaments, if you want to play a Red Sox stack as like total leverage, go for it. That's perfectly. But you could say this kind of the same thing. I would rather play Tampa Bay against Lopez than play Boston against Peralta. And then Milwaukee, I have a pretty high. Milwaukee, we have as 12% chance of being optimal. They're not a great value, but they're going to be a little bit lower owned than some of these other stacks. I'm going to put Milwaukee in the cat tier today.
I'm Googling to see, and I don't know if Google's going to be right or not because you got to double check the Google. Is Nick Sogard related to Eric Sogard? Are those guys related in any way? Does anybody know? Remember Eric Sogard?
Heard of the Sogard cousins, the Sogard brothers?
The accountant. The accountant. Remember Eric Sogard?
Right.
He doesn't play baseball anymore, to my knowledge. But is that a popular name? I don't know if those guys are related or not. Nothing really popped up for me. So let's see. We got the Giants in dog. We have Cat with just one team. That's Milwaukee. Bird is got 3 teams: Tampa, the Twins, the Dodgers, and Iguana with Detroit, Boston, and Cleveland. Hey, Blender, we did this the other day, and can you see, how well do you see that Detroit logo in Iguana on the board if you're looking at the screen?
Not much. It's kind of faded.
Okay, so is it? They were telling me that I was old and I can't see.
I could see it. I mean,
it's there, but you gotta be looking for it almost. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if this changes everything. We have one more game to go. It's the Athletics. It's the Astros. Let's see. A's are rolling out Butler, Wilson, Rooker, Soderstrom, Andujar, Langoliers, Alexander, Urias, and Clark, who got his first hit yesterday. It was an infield dribbler, so shout out to him. The Astros, again, it's a slew of righties. There's one switch hitter in Caratini, Pena, Paredes, Altuve, who banged in a couple of homers last night, I was actually watching the broadcast, and they could not wait to see Altuve get his 5th at bat because I guess 40 times in his career he's had a 4-hit game. Future Hall of Famer Jose Altuve, maybe, not sure, possibly. He's never once had a 5-hit game. They're up like 9-1 or so, and the broadcast is like, oh my God, I cannot wait. This is the time he's going to do it. And he got the hook. The manager pinch hit for him. What are you doing? Give the guy a chance.
Demote him. Send him down to AAA.
That's why you got to get sent down. Yes, I mean you can't start 4 lefties in a row. And you got to well, I wouldn't ban him completely from baseball. It's not a whole Pete Rose situation.
Well, Pete Rose isn't banned from baseball.
He's back. Yeah. Well, he's back. I mean, he's not back.
Pete Rose should be their manager. Let him manage.
Well, there's some issues. I don't know if you've seen the news. Caratini Myers.
Just put a uniform on the body. Still better than sending out replacing Altuve and putting 4 lefties in a row up.
Yeah, I mean that's not a player's manager. Is all I'm saying. All right,
Pete Rose right now is totally a player's manager. He will let them do whatever they want.
God. Daryl said weekend at Pete's. There you go. It's a shout out to. Yeah, all right. So the Athletics and the Astros. And by the way, the Athletics, they tell I was listening to the broadcast, they tell every single team. Like, you have like a PR guy that you give him notes to the broadcast because the Astros don't know anything about the Athletics. They follow their team. And they tell them exclusively. They say, listen, you cannot call this team Oakland. You're not allowed to acknowledge what city they're from. All their branding doesn't acknowledge the fact that they're not Oakland or even Sacramento. They don't acknowledge Sacramento either. So they want the visiting, the opponent, the opposing booth to not acknowledge what city they're from, which is a funny thing to tell the people. And I don't know if they did it accidentally or they're just poking at it, but they said several times. They said Oakland several times, but maybe it was a little inside joke when they're on air. I don't know, but it's hard. I'll say it accidentally sometimes. Okay, Athletics, Astros. What do you got?
Okay, so the Astros. I mean, they're going to be chalky up against Severino. I prefer to play Severino over the Astros, but the Astros, I have top half of optimal rate. I mean, I probably still have to put them in the cat tier, right? They're. I mean, I don't really want to put them in the bird tier. If anything, they'd be at the top of the bird tier or the bottom of the cat tier. I'd rather play the Brewers over the Astros just due to ownership. But I mean, the Astros against Severino seems like a fine matchup. I mean, a lot of the stuff is like the difference between the optimal rates of a lot of these teams in the first 3 tiers are not that dramatically different. But I think the Houston ownership will be much higher than. I think they may end up being the highest owned stack on the slate. And I don't think they should be. But they are still a good stack. And on the other hand, Oakland, I would put in the cat tier as well because the Oakland Athletics are. I would.
Did you not get the memo, Blender? Did nobody tell you? The PR department's going to be flying in.
Let me go check. Let me go check Slack to see if we can't tell people where they're from. I mean, truthfully, the players are all from different cities anyway. They should change depending on who's at bat or who's pitching.
It really is the dumbest thing with fandom, and I understand fandom and all that, but you're rooting for these guys that they're a collection of players from around the world, basically. And just because they happen to now live in the city you lived in or the city you grew up in, it's the oldest in Seinfeld. You're cheering for laundry. You're just rooting for laundry. That's what you're rooting for.
Is it okay for people in Las Vegas to root for the Athletics before they move to Las Vegas?
Ooh, a preemptive route. There's also a non-zero chance they're not going to Vegas. That seems like that's where they want to go. And I know they broke the ground. They haven't started building the stadium, but they broke the ground there. Geez, what's the old hotel they knocked down for the area?
Tropicana that they knocked
down. There you go. Yeah. Which, by the way, I stayed at the Tropicana about 5 years ago. So I was one of the last people there.
I've stayed at the Trop, 20 years
Not great.
Yeah.
Not great.
Oh.
If we're going to power rank Vegas hotels, it's hanging out there with the fish, I think.
Well, a lot of the hotels I've been to don't exist anymore.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever go I'm considering going downtown next time because Circa looks like a lot of fun. I don't know if that's a...
Yeah, I've stayed at the Plaza downtown.
I've never stayed downtown before.
Sure.
I lived in Vegas for some years, and I just never really ventured downtown. But, okay. Do you think people are going to chase Houston yesterday? I know you're just whatever the overlords, whatever the Sims tell you to do, that's what you do, and that's the Sims doesn't care that Jose Altuve hit 2 homers
Astros
yesterday.
have the second highest implied team total, and they're cheap. They're still cheap in comparison to like the Dodgers or whatever. So yeah, I mean, take a look at Houston's line. I mean, Caratini is like free, right? I mean, it's 2,600.
Yeah, he stinks.
These guys, like they're all in the low 4Ks. You could play Peralta Lopez lineups with the Astros, no problem. I mean, you can play Cam Smith. You could play anyone in the bottom of the order as a one-off with all the the Astros are going to probably be the chalk. I mean, who's going to be more chalky than the Astros?
I will play Athletics before I play Astros.
Well, I agree with you, but it's primarily due to ownership. I still think, the Astros have a higher implied team total, but in comparison to the ownership, I mean, I'd much rather play Langoliers at 4K. The Butler, Rooker. I mean, you have, and also like shortstop position fills out this way. I mean, you can play Luis Urias at second base. I think that's perfectly fine. The bottom of the order. No, I like the Athletic.
Number one Spidey bomb is Brent Rooker. Not a huge split historically for McCullers. So I like the Rooker call. We know about those Crawford boxes. I didn't see both of them. At least one of those homers yesterday for Altuve, like barely scraped over the wall. It was a cheapie that probably would not have gone out of most ballparks. But it's kind of a cheat code having those Crawford boxes down the left field line. So I don't mind the Rooker call. I think he's a really good tournament play. Yeah.
My game theory play. If I was playing 3 lineups today and I wanted to go full game theory, I'm the game theory person. Theoryofdfs.com. Sure. I would play
14 hours. How many hours? Is it 14 hours?
It's a 15-hour course. The first course is. The second one is some Excel tools, another 10 hours of audio. So you get all of that at theoryofdfs.com. From a theory perspective, heuristically, I would play, if I play 3 lineups, I would be playing the Giants, the Athletics, and the Brewers, fading the Astros and playing Severino against the Astros. Like that would be and then still playing a ton of Peralta Lopez. I mean, just those two. Like you can play Peralta Lopez. I mean, you don't even need Severino to play some of these stacks anyway. But if I'm not going to play the Astros, then I'll play Severino against them if the Astros are going to be chalk when they really shouldn't. I mean, they should be chalky, but they're probably going to be much more owned than they should be on a slate like this.
Christian Campbell will play 1 game at first base versus the Braves. That's interesting. Yeah, they got to figure out first. And Devers essentially is refusing to try to play first base, even though he can't play defense. He wants to play third, and they don't have a first baseman with Casas being out for the year. And also, like, he signed for the next 8 years or so. At some point, they'd probably consider throwing him at first base or DHing, but okay, they're going to throw Campbell at first. I think they're trying to open the door. We're going to get Anthony. I know you don't care about such things, Blender, but one of the bigger prospects, if not the biggest prospect in baseball, Anthony for Boston.
Anthony he just has one name.
It's his last name. I can't remember his first name.
Oh, you don't even. I just thought it was like one of those players. It's like like the Brazilian soccer players. They just have one name and that's it.
It's either Roman or Ronan. I can't remember which one.
Roman Anthony.
Yeah.
Roto. Is it going to be called Roto? Roman
Anthony. Yeah.
Anthony, right?
Can I get the theory of DFS, the 19 hours, and like a parrot voice? Is there an option for that? Can I have a parrot?
Well, you just increase it. You in your audio player, just put it on like 2.5x or whatever, and they'll
2.5x.
Right, and there you get. You'll get it just like that.
I'll go 1.5x. That's about as ambitious as I get. Do you go any more? Obviously, it depends on the person. Is there any podcast you listen to?
No, I listen to almost all my podcasts. 1.5x. Yes.
1.5. Yeah, 1.5 is standard. That's your standard number.
Yeah, that's standard. Yes, but but in my podcast app, I also have trim silence. So
I don't know what that is.
Like it has audio settings. First off, it has an audio setting to auto normalize the audio, which means if like you're listening to a podcast, especially if it's not a more professional podcast where one guy is louder than the other guy, it'll automatically like normalize that. And the other thing is that it trims silence, which means if there are pauses in between,
It'll skip it.
It'll skip it. Right. It'll trim. It'll automatically trim. So if there's someone talks like this, and then like this, and then like this, all those pauses just get snapped out. So I save some time that way.
It's very efficient.
Right. I need to save all the time in the world because I spend most of my time walking my pet turtle
around the block, or more like the
callback.
the
see my comedy skills. You see how that goes?
I gotcha. I'm right there with you. Daryl's got me tilting a little bit because he says, "Don't Panthers fans cheer USA?" Yes, and like a lot of the Florida Panthers are from Finland. Somewhere in Europe, from Canada. There are some Americans, but yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't want to get into it. But like we were talking about the whole jersey thing, right? These guys aren't all from Green Bay. All the Packers are not from Green Bay, Wisconsin. They're from all around the country. They just happen to be wearing the jersey that you wore growing up. Okay, let's summarize the board here, Blender. We have 10 minutes or so until crunch time comes in. TJ is going to jump in, and chief meteorologist Kevin Roth as well. I'm not sure if he's updated his weather, but I presume it's nothing dicey. Let's give it a refresh.
What are we up to likes-wise? Because we got one Spidey bomb.
Yeah.
Right? 2 at 100 likes. What are we up to now?
Somewhere around 80 or so, give or take.
Okay. My heart's giving out. I feel my left arm is hurting. Is getting. I don't know what's happening to my circulation.
It might have been the coffee. I don't know.
Right. It might be.
We're only at 55, Dean.
Oh, geez. I was feeling too ambitious, I suppose.
It looks like I'm going to die. It looks like he can't get up to 100. It looks like I'm dead. Take me off the schedule. Where's Andy? You gotta take. I'm going to be dead. I will literally die if you do not hit the like button.
Literally. All right. Let's recap the board again. If you're joining us late, Blender power ranked pets. He recently got a new pet. Shout out to him. Shout out to the Blender family. Giants. The Giants are all by themselves. Unprecedented. I've done this board every single day this season, and granted, it's only a 5-game slate. I cannot recall a situation where the Giants have been the only team hanging out in the top tier with
especially
dogs.
Last year. I know TJ goes back to last season. The Giants were always like they'd be like you can't possibly ever play the Giants. It's just they never get there. It doesn't matter. That's probably the case today also, but I'm still ranking them in the dog.
They've been getting there this year.
Okay, so good. So it's a new year, new Giants. Let's go. Dog tier.
Yeah.
New year, same Giants, but better. And so our arbitrary never play the Giants is gone.
I don't think I've played the Giants. Maybe I have, but very, very little. I very rarely play the Giants. But they're playable today. I'm not going to argue against it. By the way, Josh is asking why did DK leave off the Mets game? The Mets game was changed in the middle of the night or late last night because it was supposed to be like 7 o'clock or so. And I think they changed it to the afternoon because of weather issues. And the slates are already set. So that's why the Mets are not on this slate, even though they are playing at the same time. Second category is Cat. That's Milwaukee, Houston, and the Athletics, who are from parts unknown, like the scary wrestler. Bird is the third category. It's the Rays, the Twins, the Dodgers, and Iguana has 3 teams as well. That's Cleveland, Detroit, Boston, and there are no teams, 0 teams, hanging out with the Fish.
Well, the Fish isn't a pet anyway, so technically there's no 5th tier.
Well, you ranked it as a pet, though.
Fish aren't pets.
I mean, yeah, you can't pet a fish. How do you bond with a fish? There was that was that an octopus documentary? It was supposedly like somebody became friends with an octopus. I think it's on Netflix.
Octopus is more okay. If you have an octopus,
Dean, I think you were watching The Boys. I don't think that was a documentary.
No. They're actually. Is that the opening scene of like season 3? Is that what we're thinking of?
You're thinking of The Deep.
No, I'm not thinking of The Deep. There, although that is a good reference. There was this documentary where like somebody let me know. Maybe I'm not making this up. I think it was
a pet octopus. At least pet. I can see that is
got 8 tentacles to hang out with. Yeah,
right. Even
I think the octopus would like keep going to the same area.
Like a pet snail. Like if you had a snail, I'd be like, okay, that's better than a fish.
What is it about like one snail that stands out amongst the rest of the snail? Like this is my guy.
I mean, whatever. Me personally. I mean, I think that as mammals, we should only have pets as mammal pets. I think that's we should not cross.
You want to separate? Okay.
Bob Ragona is not happy with you, Blender. He said he's offended Fisher at the bottom. They should be between cat and dog. They have a personality, and when I walk in the house, they come to the glass and say hi every day.
No, you think they come to the glass and say hi? They have no.
They're just hungry. Daryl's helped me out.
Until you can put a leash on it, I ain't calling it a pet.
Well, you're not putting a leash on your bird.
You can. At least you can.
You can, but it's inhumane.
I mean, the bird could. Well, you can take it out. You can do whatever you want. I'd love to see you go on a vacation. Is it okay? Here's the key. Maybe I've cracked the code on what is considered a pet. If you would not take it on vacation with you, it can't possibly be a pet. Now, obviously, it doesn't mean you don't have to take your dog on vacation, but you can, right? Would you consider saying, "Oh, I'm gonna take my fish tank with me to Cancun while I'm a week in vacation," or are you gonna just get some friend to come in and feed it every once? Like no, you would never consider a fish. All these, even the iguana would actually love Cancun. So you would be like, obviously, we're taking pet salamander or whatever. You're obviously taking the bird, taking the dog.
Iguanas love Coronas.
You ain't taking the whole tank. What are you kidding me?
Do you check a fish tank? How does that work? I don't even know.
Right.
Probably had to carry on.
Find me someone that has gone on vacation for a week and said, I can't leave without my fish. No one has ever said that.
The other thing is,
if anyone has ever uttered that line.
If something tragic would happen to the fish, right? You can do the old switcheroo, and there's like a 90% chance, like the kid doesn't even know. You switch oh, wait a second, that's not Goldie.
Right,
That's not Fluffy.
I mean, you can't do that you pretty much can't do that with any other pet.
By the way, My Pet Octopus was the name of the movie I was trying to get to. I went ahead and dropped that in chat for TJ. Supposedly, it's a spectacular movie. There it is. TJ's thrown up on the screen. I remember it won a whole bunch of awards. I know I'm supposed to be this movie snob, but I've not seen it. But it's in the queue somewhere. It's buried somewhere in the queue. But it's about a guy that had like a friendship with an octopus. I think he would go down and dive in the water and meet him every single day or something. I'm not sure. It's PG. Like it's G actually. It's nothing. Get your head out together. Jerry Maguire took his fish. That's a good point from Chris.
It's a movie. It's a movie.
Who's coming with me? And did we ever name that fish? I don't recall if that fish was ever named. Hoosier says you do a great Gilbert Gottfried. Is that what we're doing? You're doing Gilbert Gottfried?
No, he just had to. That's the only comedian that he could reference.
Was that an insult?
No, I guess so.
Oh, you ever hear Gilbert talk not like Gilbert?
No, he doesn't normally talk like that. He does talk like that, but not
there's some audio.
Extreme.
It's where he talked quote unquote normal. Yeah, I just assumed that was obviously he Gilberts it up, but he really that's how you get those Aflac commercials. All right, we do have crunch time coming in a few minutes. Spidey Bomb number 2 is lurking. If we hit that like button, do subscribe, turn on those notifications. We have an hour until lock. Actually, a little bit less than an hour. Garth is asking if the show is over. It's not over. Crunch Time's coming on. Stevie's going to be coming on here, as well as chief mineralogist Kevin Roth. Additionally, TJ is going to be spinning more plates. He'll be turning into an analyst, as well as producing. Yeah, he's got all the plates spinning over there. He's very talented. Any questions regarding it? Now we're just talking about pets and things of that sort.
It doesn't matter. It's an entertainment show, Dean. I mean,
yeah. We happen to talk about baseball in addition to, but we are just the we're the warm up act. It's no nonsense when crunch time comes in. We'll talk to Slate, we talk baseball, but we're the lead in, right? We're 2 hours before lock. Baseball, it's a certain pace, and then we have a little bit of fun with it, obviously. You want to you want us to totally nerd out and give you every single WOBA stat and the left and the right and all that? We could do that. I suppose we can do that. But do you want that? I'm not sure. Let me know if you want that. So before they come in, they're jumping in here momentarily. Your summary, how are we attacking this? You're just making 2 lineups. Have you decided what you're doing? Outside of just whatever the sim overlords tell you what to do.
That's what I do. SimLabs is $29.99 a month, right? It's very easy. I do 2 videos a week now showing you how to use SimLabs, which I mean, I show exactly the process that I would do to make. I mean, it's not. This isn't like even like lineup HQ. This is simple stuff. You use our player projections, our ownership projections. You can even get the Bat X projections in SimLabs. Okay, and then close to lock. Right when lineups come in, when sims get updated, they're timestamps with everything. You know, select the contest type that you're going to be in. Right, you can make your own choices because they're going to be lineups that, hey, if you wanted to play Landon Roop today, there are plus EV lineups that have Landon Roop. So you can feel free to lock that in. Lock in an Astro stack. Exclude an Astro stack. Exclude whatever you want and see what the ratings of all these lineups are in the contest that you're going to play. And then, so it's not like the Sims told me to play this. It's like you can make some choices yourself because a lot of lineups are going to look the same. I mean, I'm looking at the first two lineups that I have here in the run that I just made. And I have a Lopez Peralta lineup with the Astros. And then I have a Peralta Severino lineup with the Giants. And they're both rate about the same. So, like, if you wanted to play the Astros today, well, there you go. There's an Astros lineup. If you don't want to play the Astros, oh, here's a Giants lineup with no Astros. They're both about the same. So, like, I'm just going to go and I'm just going to say, okay, well, let me take a look at these Giants lineups. Let me take a look at these Severino lineups. Let me take a look at this, and you can just sort through. And even if you're playing 20 lineups, you can just go and pick and choose. Save them in your save lineup section, right? You can even export that to Lineup HQ if you're a premium member. Right, you can download them, put them in your CSV. You can do whatever you want, and it's just it's so much easier than Lineup HQ, where you pretty much have to jury rig the stuff to make the lineups the way you want with groups and exposures and all that type of stuff. Kind of manual work. SimLabs does that all for you, and it goes through all our 10,000 plus sims. I mean, to me, like DFS has become a 10-minute thing to me every day of just like, okay, let me go to SimLabs. Let me enter, contests. And if I'm like looking at the, heuristically, I'm like, yeah, I think I only want to play one lineup today. Or sometimes it's like 5, but a lot of times it's like 2 or 3. And I go, okay, I'll play this one and that one, and I'm done. I'm done. And
every time you say heuristically, the chat takes a shot.
Heuristically?
Yeah, I think that's the chat takes a word. Shot. I mean, it's a lot of syllables. It's a little imposing. Right. So to your point, by the way, crunch time's here, but to your point, Roop, Severino, Rasmussen, McCullers, Bayo, all within 1 point of a median projection. All those pitchers are essentially the same. They're all essentially the same. And Kershaw's right there.
Rates, though. I mean, it doesn't matter what the projection. The projection is a mean number. It doesn't encompass the entire range of outcomes. So, according to our sims, Severino has a twice as % chance of being optimal than Brain Bayo, even though the difference in mean projection is like 0.6.
I mean, Severino's about 100 pitches.
It's about distributions. It's not just one mean number.
All right, let's do it. Let's bring in crunch time. We got Stevie, we have Roth, we have TJ. Crunch time right now. I don't know how much you guys caught, by the way, Roth, Stevie. Blender is passionate about the idea fish are not pets. Are fish pets?
Yeah, you have to keep them alive. They're pets, yes.
That's the deciding factor. You got to keep them alive.
Well, okay, if that's the deciding factor, then okay, then I get it. But you're more of a captor.
Yeah. You can't pet a fish.
To me, right? That's what I mean. Like the dogs and cats, it feels like you give them enough freedom where they feel like they're a part of the family. The fish is probably there going, I'd love to be in the ocean, but now I'm in this little box in this guy's room, right? As a showpiece, like I'm a part of a museum. Yeah, I don't feel like any other pet you feel that way.
Yeah, I'll give you guys a quick recap. I was here for the whole thing. Blender is very anti-fish. He's very pro-bird.
Oh.
And Dean said NASCAR is not a sport.
It's not a sport. I stand by that. It's an activity.
The most egregious thing, birds are terrible.
That has to be the worst take you've ever had on this show. And Stevie's here, and he doesn't even
saying that in front of Stevie.
Consider that.
It's not an insult. There's still a skill. Red Panda throwing those plates and catching those plates. It's super impressive what Red Panda does, but it's not a sport. It's not a sport.
I bet you Dean on a NASCAR sim wouldn't make it one corner without wrecking.
It's just because something is difficult doesn't make it a sport. Is the point? You know,
why do you think it's not a sport?
Darts a sport? Why do you think it's not a sport? Because it's not physically grueling?
No, Dean. No, here's the best example for Dean. The 100-meter dash in the Olympics. Is that a sport? Is track and field a sport?
It's an activity.
Okay, but it's just that with cars. So if you consider running and a race,
there's not a ball. There's not a
racing
scoreboard.
has gone to the end of time. Cavemen bet on races 25,000 years ago. So just because we have you put them in a car and you like it's the same.
What was the first tout like 25,000 years ago, Blunder? What did that person sound like?
Play whoever you want.
I bet on whoever you
That's
want.
what I wanted, TJ. Thank you. Greatest tout of all time. Yeah, you know, like gymnastics. It's super impressive. Not a sport. Like it's I think this person's better than that person. Deciding it's not a sport. It's an incredible. What they do is super impressive. It's very impressive. It's just not a sport.
This is rough.
It's not. It's an exhibition. It's an exhibition. Figure skating. It's an exhibition. Horse racing is a sport because you have a definitive final line. First person to cross this wins.
You do in NASCAR.
I was
It's a
gonna
horse,
say
though.
that was a terrible.
We all don't ride horses. We all drive.
Oh my.
So,
okay, you guys get out of here.
Say that race car driving is an activity.
Yes.
Involving physical exertion. And
you sweat.
Oh, you can't go.
Sometimes.
That's crazy. Of course it does. It's insane physical exertion and skill, in which an individual or team competes against others or others for entertainment.
For entertainment.
Yeah,
it's a sport. Okay, can you? Can
the
bad take crew get out of here?
All the things you just said aren't a sport.
Did anybody give Roth a nonsense for hating birds? We're just not going to talk about that. He hates birds for no reason.
Well, they're terrible pets. They're literally the worst pets you could have. You got to clean their shit.
Yes,
they're loud. They squawk. You can't really pet them. They fly away if you let them out. And this is a good point from Christopher. It's in the name, NASCAR Motorsports.
Yeah, it's called marketing, Roth. They're not going to say this is not a sport.
Roth, there's meteor and meteorology, and you don't talk about meteors.
Boom, touche. Leave on a high note. George Costanza. That was Blender. I was Dean. Roth, take it away.
Good stuff as always. Welcome to it. I do want to point out.
Was it though? You said good stuff. Was it? Was it really good stuff?
It wasn't.
Okay.
And to be clear, a meteor, in the word that meteorology is used, is anything that is falling through the sky, like precipitation, and thus meteorology. It is not actual meteors in that case. Anyways, with all of that out of the way, hopefully never to be brought up again, we have two of the sharpest minds in the industry here for crunch time. Stevie in the house. He just took it on the chin with Dean making fun of NASCAR, and you didn't get riled up. I'm proud of you. What's up, Stevie?
I just woke up, so that probably has a lot to do with it. You know, I mean, drinking some water, but yeah, here, ready to talk some baseball. I think this is a really interesting day of baseball, both slates, the night slate and the early slate. So, yeah, man, just always pumped. Always cool to hang out with my good buddy Roth, and good to see TJ. So, yeah.
Oh, always a pleasure seeing your smiling face. TJ, we have been seeing each other every single day because you have been producing every day and or on air every day. Working double time, man. How you holding up?
Doing not too bad. Actually, Dean just asked how I was doing, like with all of it pre-show as well, and I kind of said, keeping everything good and not burning out by any means, but Agents of Fandom has fallen by the wayside a little bit, so I'm looking forward to kind of getting back into gear with that once Steve's back. But honestly, it's going pretty well so far. It's kind of like a lot of when I'm tired of parenting, I switch to RotoGrinders work. When I'm tired of the RotoGrinders work, I switch back to parenting, and it's kind of like a nice balance of both.
Yeah, that is well said. I feel that one in my heart and soul. I like Brandon's comment. It says day baseball should be mandatory by law. I mean, everybody loves day baseball, and it's just fun, like pull the kids out of school, or in summertime, they're not even in school. Just, go check out a day baseball game. I love it. We got to talk about some of the weather for this day baseball because things are a little bit interesting, less so on the morning slate. Tampa Bay, low chance of a delay. Cleveland, Detroit, a few sprinkles, but I think everything's fine. New York, it started raining already in New York, and it just gradually gets heavier and heavier. But even at its heaviest, I don't think it ever rains hard enough for them to stop. So I am going under the assumption they will start playing rain, in the light rain. They will finish in the rain. It will rain all game, but I do think that they're going to play.
Well, to help you out with that, Mets game, the New York game, that game is not on any slate. So that makes it a little bit easier for you.
Because it got moved or something? Because it's at the time as the rest of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
It got moved. It was supposed to be a night game, and it got moved to an early game, so it's not on any slate. So that makes it a little easier for you.
Yeah. For what it's worth, if you want to bet it or whatever, I do think it'll be fine. But that is good to know. I don't have to stress on it. I will have to stress about Baltimore and Philly. Philly, I think, is just going to be a wash on the late slate. Baltimore, that one's a little more interesting. Maybe those aren't on the late slate. I don't know. Sometimes those get weird starts, but that's it. That's all I've got really in the weather department. So let's dive into the pitching department. Who's breaking them off with the deuce piece? Uncle Charlie, Chuck Nasty. I think that's what they call a curveball, but I don't know. Stevie, Uncle Charlie, is that a curveball?
Uncle Charlie. Oh man,
good old Uncle Charlie.
I haven't heard that term in so long. But
my baseball knowledge is still from like 25 years ago. So
yeah, that's okay. My arm feels like it's like 25 years from now. Like I have an appointment next week for like a specialist on my arm finally because like volleyball has like put it over the edge of like my last torn rotator cuff from baseball. So not excited about potentially going through all that again, but pitching on this slate, like
hang on, wait, your arm. You're doing this still in the volleyball?
Yeah, I hit to the girls, so
that'll crush you. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I'm super sore this morning. I hit a lot last night, so
yeah, it'll get you.
Yeah, Nationals prep, man, gotta push them. So, pitching on this slate, Pablo Lopez, Freddie Peralta, Rasmussen, Kershaw would be my 4 favorite pitchers here, starting with Pablo Lopez at the top. Like the one downside that Pablo Lopez has is like Tampa is by far the best hitting conditions on the slate. It's a minor league ballpark basically with Florida. I mean, it's hot in Florida. I live in Florida. It's hot. Like it's already at that point where you're like, do I want to go outside hot in Florida? So that's the one downside to Pablo Lopez. The upside is there's 5 hitters in this lineup with strikeout rates over 23% against right-handed pitching this season. So Lopez is a strike thrower. He's really good at limiting power, so that could potentially help him in this ballpark. But, you look at it, and he has a 22.2% strikeout to walk ratio. It's the best on the slate. So you like Lopez a lot in this spot. Freddie Peralta is right there. The problem that Freddie Peralta has, and I could nitpick every pitcher on the slate, basically, but I also have interest in pitchers on the slate. But Freddie Peralta struggles with strikeouts to lefties, and the Red Sox rolled out a lineup with a ton of lefties in it today. So that is where Peralta struggles. But there's a lot of strikeouts on the bottom half of the Red Sox lineup because they're rolling out like a AAA lineup because of some injuries. And they have a couple guys just sitting today. So I think Peralta definitely benefits from the bottom half. So I think both of those two guys are like your 1A, 1B. You could potentially play them both together. I think there's enough value on this slate. Rasmussen, going back to that Tampa game, again, it's the weather, but this lineup is awful. They just don't strike out a ton. They do a really good job of putting the ball in play. So Rasmussen could pitch maybe a little bit deeper than he usually does. They don't really extend him, which is the downside to him in this spot. But, I mean, once he gets past, like, Correa, he could just cruise through this lineup every time through. So Drew Rasmussen is a really good play today as well. Ballpark hitting conditions, not the greatest, but I think that he has enough upside to kind of overcome that. And the last pitcher I wanted to talk about is Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw on DraftKings, anyway, is really cheap as an SP2, and he's still Clayton Kershaw. He's not Clayton Kershaw, elite Clayton Kershaw from 5 years ago. I've gone through a ton of injuries. I am going to change my game, Clayton Kershaw. But Cleveland's really bad against left-handed pitching. I talked about this on Lineup HQ today when I tagged him for the early slate. I think he'll pitch 85-ish pitches. His last start was shortened by rain. He looked really good in like that inning and a half. So Cleveland is 21st in WRC plus. They have the 10th highest strikeout rate against left-handed pitching. So I like Kershaw as well.
Okay, very good. TJ, talking crap in the YouTube chat, but also I do want your takes on pitchers. I'm a little bummed because I was excited about the weather in Tampa, and it seems like maybe this is a spot where we're leaning more pitchers than hitters, or maybe a little bit of both. It's just in 6 weeks, every game on the slate is going to be like the weather in Tampa. It's going to be 90 degrees. But this is the time of year when it stands alone. The cheese stands alone as like it is the only good hitting spot on the whole slate, but maybe it's not the time to take advantage. TJ, what do you think?
Optimally, no, it's not. For tournaments, yes, I absolutely think you can, especially because you're going to get a near 50% owned Pablo Lopez in that spot. And it's kind of like Stevie said, this is going to be a real boom bust spot for Pablo Lopez and the Tampa Bay hitters. They have a lot of power. It's a great hitting spot, but he's also a very good pitcher. That doesn't mean he can't get some bombs knocked out of the park though. So I definitely, would say like, especially at their prices, like from a cash perspective, you just play Freddie Peralta and Pablo Lopez. They're by far the best guys on the slate. And outside of Ohtani and maybe Betts because of shortstop's kind of weak today, there's not really that many guys you have to pay up for today. And so definitely those two are the optimal best two pitchers by far. In large field tournaments, though, if you're playing a ton of lineups, I honestly think Jackson Jobe and Colby Allard are the only pitchers you can't play. I don't want to play McCullers, but he had 8 strikeouts last game and he's 6,300. I don't want to play Brian Bayo, but he gets a lot of ground balls, looked a little better last game, and he's 6,600. I don't want to play Landon Roop, but he can get some strikeouts. Same with Luis Severino. And so I agree with, I think, the order that Stevie laid it out of you got Peralta and Lopez in their own tier 1, then it's Rasmussen, then it's Clayton Kershaw as the top options. If I was running a single entry, I would probably just eat the chalk and do Peralta or Lopez. If I were doing 2 lineups, it would be one Peralta Lopez and the other one would be Peralta with one of the cheap SP2s, maybe Kershaw, and then a Tampa Bay stack going up against Lopez. And so that's kind of how I'm running things today. But basically you can play, if your question is, can I play this guy? And it's anybody not named Jackson Jobe and Colby Allard, the answer is yes. Yeah. But Peralta, Lopez, the clear top options, they're also by far the chalkiest.
Okay, very good. Let's flip it. Talk about the bats and the stacks. TJ, you can lead us off there.
Yeah, much like you can play any of the pitchers, you can pretty much play any of the stacks. The Dodgers are today's version of Pablo Lopez and Freddie Peralta. They're not going to be quite as chalky as those two pitchers are, though, just because they are super, super expensive today. It's tough to stack them. The only cheap options are, it's not that hard because you do have cheap pitchers, but the only cheap options are Miguel Rojas and Kike Hernandez. And there's a very good chance that not even like potentially after long, it could just be after Colby Allard is done, which might be 2 innings because he's kind of like a pseudo slightly longer opener. We might just see Kike Hernandez and Miguel Rojas get 1 at bat. We might see them get 0 at bats if they pop a lefty in there. So I do probably want to just stick to like the good Dodgers batters and not have to worry about Max Muncy coming in when a righty comes in, things like that. Maybe they are just giving those guys the day off. So if you're playing a lot of lineups, you can do that and just hope that 1, they hit a home run early, or 2, they're just trying to give a couple guys like Muncy and others a day off against a strong matchup today that they can hopefully win. My favorite for tournaments is going to be the Athletics. They're my favorite pivot off of the Dodgers today. I like the Giants quite a bit. The Giants, Dodgers, and Athletics are my 3 highest owned stacks with Tampa Bay. Those are the 4 that I am heavily overweight on today. I'm going to be over the field, or not heavily overweight on the Dodgers, but the other, even with the Dodgers, overweight on the Athletics, Giants, and Rays. And then just going to be mixing in a little bit of Brewers, Twins. I'll be underweight on the Astros. And the 3 teams I don't really care for are Boston, Cleveland, and Detroit. But like Peralta's going to be 50% owned. You can play the Boston lefties. They finally rolled out their 4 best hitters as 1, 2, 3, and 4. I mean, like, without Bregman, because he's hurt. But Cleveland and Detroit, much more interested in a mini stack than a full stack. Don't think I want a full stack either of those teams, but you can always play Jose Ramirez and those righties in the middle of that lineup. You can, on Detroit, you can always play Green and Carpenter.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Stevie, let's talk some stacks. What say you?
One thing I will say about the Dodgers is they're on like a 19-game stretch where they play every day for 19 days, and it's like day 6. So they might actually just give those guys a day off. So, and it's going to be like a bullpen type of game. Like even Allard, he's not projected to pitch very long. We're going to just see like a full-on like bullpen type of game. The Dodgers are good enough where they can beat the Cleveland bullpen. So overall, I think, you know, the Dodgers are one of the top stacks on the slate. I think that they're a team that you're looking at. We have plenty of salary and value to kind of make that work. Outside of that, I mean, they're also the chalky stack. So take that for however you want to take it. They're going to be very popular. I don't know if I necessarily like the stack of Detroit, but I like the lefties there. Green and Carpenter, and we'll talk about them as we're going through the games. The other team that I really like as a potential stack today that's going to be kind of low owned is San Francisco. I don't know if Job is going to be good long term or not. I think that he has a lot of stuff that make pitchers good long term. He just hasn't really found like his major league command yet. And the Giants are a team, when they're on the road, they hit. And I mean, they're on the road here going up against Joby. And I think that this is a spot where you could play the Giants and take some upside spots with them.
Okay, good stuff. I did get a question here. Anthony came in a little bit late, and he said, who are your top 2 pitchers for the early slate? TJ, you had listed them. There are 2 chalky pitchers, right?
Lopez and Peralta are by far the top 2 options. They're also by far the 2 chalkiest options. My favorite cheaper one would be Kershaw, but I honestly think anybody not named Job and Allard you can play.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Let's go around the horn. We'll talk position by position. Stevie, you can lead us off there with some catcher talk. Obviously, if the big dumper is there, we're playing him, but I don't think he's on the slate. So now, or like, what do I do? I don't know. He's like the top hitter on the late slate for me. Cal Riley, that is. So gosh, I love the spot for him. I love the spot for Seattle. There's a little insight into tonight's slate, but I mean, I think if you can fit in Will Smith, you're probably playing Will Smith. I think this is an excellent spot for him. I like Langoliers against McCullers. McCullers is coming back from injury. He's still struggling against right-handed hitters. So Langoliers against McCullers, I think, is fine. Going all the way down and just playing like Sam Huff at 2.4K on DraftKings, I think is great if you just want to save some salary. And I'll talk a little bit about Minnesota and Tampa bats throughout the slate, just chasing home runs. I like both of those pitchers. I'm not saying that I don't. But I think a guy like Ryan Jeffers, not going to have a ton of ownership, batting second against Drew Rasmussen. Like, you're targeting a little bit of power in that game just because, again, the hitting conditions are just night and day. You know, we got 40s, 50s, 60s almost everywhere. And then we have Tampa 80, 88 to 95 by the end of this game, I'm sure. So that's what it feels like outside for me. So, yeah, I mean, target some home runs in that game. And Jeffers is a cheap catcher that has some upside. Yeah, good stuff. TJ, your favorites at the catcher spot?
Yeah, Will Smith is going to be my highest owned guy here. And then Caratini, probably my favorite punt. And then just kind of getting a mix of a lot of the guys Stevie mentioned, Shea Langoliers, Ryan Jeffers, quite like Danny Jansen as a cheap punt option as well. Anybody else is just whoever's in your stack.
Okay, how about first base?
Shohei Ohtani. Or if you want to play Freddie Freeman at first, then you play Freeman at first, Shohei Ohtani in the outfield. He's got a 48.65% optimal rate. I'm not sure if we'll ever see a higher optimal rate for a hitter on a baseball slate. And I actually did get 50% Shohei Ohtani. He's not just my highest owned bat, he's actually my highest owned player.
Pitchers included. Slate. That's awesome.
Christian Walker is the best cheap option. I like Jonathan Aranda for tournaments a lot tonight. Lefty going within that nice weather, going up against Minnesota. Everybody else is just kind of fine. You know, I like Wilmer Flores because I'm playing a lot of Giants. I'll get some Diaz in my in my Rays stacks. I'll get some France in my Minnesota stacks. But Ohtani, Freeman, Aranda are probably my favorites, with Walker being kind of like the chalk cheap option and Flores being my favorite large field, super low owned option.
Okay, good breakdown. Stevie, anything you want to add there at first?
Yeah, I mean, Ohtani's just in a class of his own today. Play him at first base or outfield. I like playing him in outfield and getting a little exposure to like a Christian Walker at first base. I think he's in a really good spot. TJ mentioned Wilmer Flores. I like the Giants a lot. Someone in chat just said the Giants are bad against right-handed pitching. I don't know where that comes from. I mean, they have 6 guys in this lineup with ISOs over 150 and Woba's over 300. I mean, that's very good as a team collectively. So don't know where that one came from, but just wanted to point that out really quick. But yeah, I mean, overall, Ohtani, if you're not playing Ohtani at first base and you're playing him in the outfield, Freeman in that same game. But I like Flores and Walker a lot today. I like Houston. I think Houston's in a good spot against Severino.
Okay. Second base, Stevie.
Yeah, I mean, second base is not a position that I see a lot of people paying up for today. I mean, you could play Altuve. He's still way too cheap. We talked about this. I'm sure everybody on the show has talked about this yesterday. He had 2 home runs. He was just way too cheap. So Altuve, I think, is, still way underpriced, and he's going to be chalky again. So fade him if you want to in cash. I like Tommy Edman a lot as a pivot, but you can also play Tommy Edman in the outfield. He's a switch hitter. So like in this Cleveland bullpen game, if he gets lefties, he has more power from the right side of the plate. But if he gets left or right-handed pitching, he is a guy that can get on base against left-handed or right-handed pitchers as well. If you want to save some money, Colt Keith is batting third against Roop. Again, I like the Detroit lefties. When Roop struggles, it's typically against left-handed hitters. His strikeout rate drops almost 12% against lefties to righties. So Colt Keith and those Detroit lefties are in play today. And he's really cheap. So if you want to save some money at second base, like we like to do.
Yeah. Okay. TJ, second.
Brandon Lau going to be my favorite guy here, either as part of a Tampa stack or as a one-off going up against Pablo Lopez. Altuve is probably the guy I'd want to get underweight on just because he's going to be double anybody else's ownership at the position today. If you need to go super cheap, I like Angel Martinez at 3K switch hitter for Cleveland, but Colt Keith, like Stevie said, also a little bit cheaper and a totally fine option there as well, as is Brooks Lee. Lots of good cheap options, which is one of the reasons I kind of like going Turang and Lau in some lineups, because we're like projecting them for 15-ish% ownership, but especially Turang, I could see it going even a little bit lower than that. Tommy Edman in my Dodger stacks. Not a terrible position considering how small the slate is.
Yeah. Okay. How about third base? It is terrible, isn't it, TJ? Say it.
By the way, did you win a GPP last night?
No, I did pretty good. My
did you have Altuve?
I didn't have Altuve in my Houston stack. I was trying to be different and sneaky, and I left out the guy who hit 2 bombs. Other than that, my lineup was amazing. Third base, TJ, what do you got?
If you can pay up for Jose Ramirez, he is the top option. But Matt Chapman is a very nice second option if you can't get there at $4,300. He's one of my favorite bats on the slate, as is Junior Caminero, coming in at a quarter of the projected ownership as Yandy Diaz right now. So I really like Caminero at third base. Devers is going to be, like, for a slate this small, it's going to be among the lowest owned you can ever get Devers, and you get leverage off of the 50+% owned Peralta as well. That's it for my favorites. I do like that Paredes isn't going quite as heavily owned as the rest of the Astros. And honestly, if you're playing Minnesota, or even if you're not, because he's only 3,700, I don't think it's crazy to play Royce Lewis. Like, if you look at his game log, it's been horrific. but I'm pretty sure he had 3 barrels in his last game, and just like he's kind of coming back. He's just getting unlucky.
Mhm.
And so Royce Lewis is a guy that, like, as soon as he starts going, he's gonna be going, and he'll probably be above 5K at some point this season. So I don't mind trying to get on that bandwagon before anybody else does.
Yeah, I love that idea. Real quick before we get to Stevie, TJ, Anthony in the chat says, any Spidey bombs? You want to tell the people what they need to get a Spidey bomb or two?
First one we already dropped. I accidentally stopped it, scrolling it, but Brent Rooker, Spidey bomb number 1 plus 450. We'll drop another one at 100 likes. Let's see where we at now. We got a lot of viewers now that we didn't have earlier in Grinders Live, so we should be pumping them up. We're at 100 on the dot. So I got another one coming right away. I'll have it as soon as Stevie's done third base.
Yeah, very good. Stevie, your thoughts at third?
Yeah, third base is interesting today because you have a wide range of, do you want to spend up? Do you want to play mid-tier? Do you want to go cheap? If you want to spend up, Jose Ramirez, Paredes, Chapman. I think all 3 of those guys make a lot of sense just in general. So any of those guys are fine. If you want to go a little bit cheaper, you're looking at like Kiki Hernandez. Marcel Mayer is one of the top prospects in baseball. I talk about him a lot. He's obviously a Red Sox. He's going to be very good. He is already really good, but he has a really tough matchup against Peralta. If you want to one-off that, I don't hate it. The other one I want to talk about here is CJ Alexander. He's minimum salary. He's 2K. All the way down to the bottom. This guy has been a journeyman. He was drafted out of Sarasota in like 2018 and has been playing in minor league baseball since then. He's had a couple injuries. He's played with the Braves, the Royals, Oakland, the Athletics now, but he has power. He is going to strike out a lot, but he has power at 2K. McCullers has strikeout stuff, so I don't hate a 2K punt on a guy that has a little bit of power.
Sure.
And I mean, they're going to definitely let him play. They're going to see what they have in him. So I don't hate that if you wanted to take some shots on CJ Alexander at just absolute dirt 2K here. 2K punt with power, sign me up.
Yeah. I feel you on that. Are we at Stevie's thoughts at short now, or is it TJ at third?
You were going to do a Spidey bomb.
Were we?
That's what
we were. Spidey bomb
said, yeah.
number 2, scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We got number 1, Brent Rooker plus 450. Number 2, Brandon Lau plus 575 today to hit a home run. Get up to 125 likes. We got a third one, 150. We got a fourth one.
Very good. Stevie, your thoughts at shortstop?
Mookie Betts. Oh, was I supposed to keep going?
At the end?
No, I mean, I like Mookie a lot if you can afford him. If you can't afford him, you should try to afford him. But if you can't, I like Adames again, going back to that San Francisco lineup. I think Willy Adames is really good against right-handed pitching. It's weird. Like, he's kind of like a reverse splits hitter. He hits right-handed pitching a lot better than he hits left-handed pitching. That's kind of it for me. Those are the 2 shortstops. I have a little bit of Pena, but those are really the 2 shortstops that I'm playing in almost all my lineups today. So those are the 2 that I'll talk about.
Let's say you can only get one of Mookie or Will Smith, Stevie.
I get Mookie. I prefer Mookie's upside a little bit more than I prefer Will Smith's upside.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's also just so many other options at catcher compared to shortstop today, which is really weird to say. But like a downgrade from Will Smith to Langoliers or Ryan Jeffers is nowhere near as big as Mookie Betts to Carlos Correa.
Right. Okay, fair. Shortstop, TJ, your thoughts there? Mookie Betts.
I like Jacob Wilson for large field tournaments just because.
Who is that? I'm sorry, I talked over you.
Jacob Wilson, 4,300 for Oakland just because I'm playing a ton of Oakland today. And then like, sure, Adames, Correa, Lee for super cheap. Pena's going over, looking like he's going to be over-owned, and so I'm probably going to be right there like I am on all the Astros. If they do the same thing as yesterday, I'll just lose. That's fine, and we'll go on to the night slate. But it's Mookie Betts by far, and then my version of Willy Adames is probably Jacob Wilson.
Yeah. Okay. You get to take us to the outfield, TJ. What do you like there?
Shohei Ohtani. Teoscar Hernandez is going to be my second favorite. Brent Rooker, the Spidey Bomb, my third favorite, and then Lawrence Butler, the fourth. Those four Dodgers and Athletics will be my four highest owned outfielders today. Outside of those guys is where I think I'll be looking to get off of the chalk. I'll be underweight on Christian Yelich. I'll be underweight on Jackson Chourio. Jose Altuve, way underweight, even though he's going to be mostly played at second base today. I really like Josh Lowe going up against Lopez. Basically all three Giants, Jung Ho Lee, Mike Yastrzemski, and Elliot Ramos are all very much in play today. Love that Ramos is projecting for sub 5% ownership. I think that's fantastic. Let me see if my new and hopefully last set of lineups are in. Yes, they are. Oh, I forgot about my Tigers. Like I said, I like my Tigers mini stacks, not a full stack, but a mini stack. And so Kerry Carpenter, I'm playing a ton of. He's still way too cheap. And then Riley Green, I'm getting to, and also Wenzel Perez. This is a guy that was, Steve, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure a pretty solid prospect before he got hurt. Switch hitter, so I'm hoping he doesn't get pinch hit for. Came in and play in his first game. He had a home run. So I'm playing some Wenzel Perez at almost minimum price.
Okay. Stevie, your thoughts on the outfield?
Yeah, I mean, obviously talked about Ohtani. So Ohtani, good spot. I love Riley Green and Kerry Carpenter today. I think that they're two of the better hitters on the entire slate. So going to play a lot of them. Jung Ho Lee, Yaz. Just going back to that San Francisco. I like the San Francisco team today. I think they're in a really good spot. And I see chat talking about Joby with like fingers crossed. Like he's going to eventually figure it out. I talked about this at the beginning. I think that like he's going to eventually figure it out, or he's not. I mean, it's as simple as that. He's either going to figure it out or he's not. And but I think there's more prospect for him to figure it out than not to figure it out. But it just hasn't clicked. Like you look at some of his minor league stuff and it's clicked, but he's 22 years old, so he still has time to figure it out. And I want to pick on him until he figures it out. I like the Perez call. He's cheap if you want to go down that road. Any of the Dodgers outfielders, and then really quick, just want to talk a little bit about the Athletic outfielders. If you want some low power, Soderstrom, Butler, Rooker, all of these guys are in play today. I will say I don't know a lot about Denzel Clark, who's sitting ninth for the Athletics today. I'll have to do some research on him. I know he's like a top 5 prospect for the Athletics, but I don't know if it's like speed or power, but I would assume it's speed because I haven't heard a lot about his power, but he is a huge prospect in the Athletics organization. And it sounds crazy. You're like, the Athletics organization. The Athletics organization actually has some really good baseball prospects. So being a top 5 prospect with the Athletics is actually not a bad thing. So yeah. I mean, I think that kind of sums up outfield. Dodgers, Giants, Detroit lefties, and chasing a home run or two with like a Larnach or a Missner in that Tampa Bay, Minnesota good hitting conditions game against good pitching.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Let's see. Are we doing home run calls? That's what we're doing, right? Look for some bombs. Let's do it. We've got 1, 2, 3 Spidey bombs coming at 125 likes.
8 likes right now. So hopefully we get 8 more people to hit the like button. Ideally, we get, well, my math is not good. 33 more people to hit the like button so we can get 2 more Spidey Bomb.
I'll tell you what I'm doing right now is I'm pulling up the RotoGrinders YouTube account, and I'm not just going to talk about it. I'm going to be about it. I'm going to hit a thumbs up right now on this show. We've got hundreds and hundreds of people watching.
Why don't, while you're doing that, let me give the people a little demonstration. You go, because a lot of people are on their phones, as we learned. They're not just on their computers.
I just clicked 125, by the way. I was the 125th. So we are there. But tell the people.
Let's get up to 150 here. So as you can see, if you open up YouTube, you will find us lovely people probably right at the top, especially if you're subscribed. Underneath what we got here, if you haven't seen Kellyoke, I love Kelly Clarkson so much. She's just absolutely incredible. Wonderful singer. My baby likes it too. So we turn on some Kellyoke in the mornings and she dances around. It's really cute. You find us, you're right there. But here's the problem, Roth.
There's no thumbs up. Where is it?
No thumbs up. No like button. All you can see is the wonderful people in chat. So you got to hit the little X in the corner. It disappears and you can find the like button right there.
Yeah. Nate pointing out not having dark mode on is wild. You're crazy, man.
I don't use YouTube on my phone ever. I'm always on the computer, so it doesn't really affect me.
That explains that. Well, we did get up to 125 likes. TJ, drop a third Spidey bomb, and then Stevie, I'm coming to you for some home run picks as well.
All right, Spidey bomb number 3. We are going to my guy, the guy who has been picked more as a Spidey bomb this year than anyone else. Kerry Carpenter plus 550 Spidey bomb number 3. So we got Brent Rooker, Brandon Lau, Kerry Carpenter. 4th one if we get up to 150 likes.
Okay, very good. Dean, by the way, says, is Kellyoke a sport? Get out of here, Dean. Stevie, what do you got here for some Spidey bombs? Give me something a little chalky, something sneaky. Maybe something in the middle if you want.
I will to give Dean credit, at least when he has terrible takes, he just stays on it. Like he doesn't back down from his terrible takes. Like he's always been that person. So
I don't think you should get credit for that. I think you should lose credit for that. If you have a bad take, you should be willing to learn.
Well, you haven't met Dean. I mean, top end home run, Ohtani. Like I'll kind of cheat here and just say Ohtani hits a home run. I like the Kerry Carpenter call, but I'll go Riley Green. And I'll go really kind of off the board because this guy doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but give me Jung-Ho Lee to hit a home run today. Facing more of a fly ball pitcher. He's more of a ground ball, line drive hitter. So going to really kind of benefit from the fly ball pitcher there in Detroit. So give me Jung-Ho Lee to randomly. I bet you his odds are really good to hit a home run today.
Okay. I like it. What were they?
They are plus 900.
Ooh,
on Bet 365, plus 900 on FanDuel, plus 900 everywhere.
Very good. Let's get to some of these QQs. We've got 12-ish minutes until lock. Maybe we'll take you up till lock, but we'll hang out until some questions are answered. Yep, that's me, says Stevie. I'm throwing a single dart in a DK 20 entry max. Kershaw, Will Smith, or Pablo Lopez and Caratini.
I think I'd take the pitcher upside with Lopez, but I don't. Yeah, I think I the Lopez side.
Okay. TJ Andrew says, "What about this 2K Alexander guy from the A's at third? Did we discuss? Is that who Stevie was talking about?
Yeah, that's that journeyman guy Stevie was talking about. So
Sure.
I'd probably rather him in my A stacks than just all alone. But when somebody's 2K, I mean.
And they got pop.
If he hits a home run, then you're thrilled you have him all alone. So yeah, no, I'm definitely fine with that punt, especially because it's a weak position outside of the top 4 today.
Yep. TJ DK Cash question: Caratini bets or Correa and Bangaliers?
Caratini bets.
Okay. Brandon Lau, Stevie, got any interest in Brandon Lau?
Yeah, I mean, you're understanding the risk of facing a good pitcher with Pablo Lopez. He doesn't give up a ton of power. He generates more ground balls against lefties. He does give up hard contact. His barrel rate's under 4%. So, you understand the risk of taking Lau against Lopez, but you're also getting a lower owned Brandon Lau in the best hitting conditions by far on the slate, in a ballpark that's like a AAA ballpark where we're going to see over the next 6, 7, 8 weeks in Tampa, any game in Tampa, we're going to see a ton of home runs there. I mean, it's going to be so hot. The ballpark's short. So anytime you have any interest in Tampa power, go for it. I mean, no one should talk you off of it. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the risk in taking a hitter against Lopez first.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Stevie, right back to you from Jake. DKGPP, Freeman and Wenzel Perez, or Pajes and Butler.
The first one.
Okay, very good. Scrolling down. What's so special about dark mode? Steve, are you a dark mode user?
My God, yes. On everything I have, everything.
Easier on the
eyes.
it's
good for it's so much better for your eyes. You see me, I'm wearing glasses. I'm getting older. I have I have great vision, but my doctor tells me I have way too much blue light in my life, so I dark mode as much as possible.
There you have it. That's what's so special about dark mode, Steve. Favorite FanDuel single entry pitcher, TJ? FanDuel single entry pitcher.
The correct answer is Pablo Lopez or Freddie Peralta, but I kind of like Clayton Kershaw, even though on FanDuel, he's probably not going to go 6 innings unless he's super efficient, which does matter there. He's probably likely to go 5 and get the win, and he's just so cheap, only 7,300. Like, the price difference between Kershaw and Lance McCullers is $200 on FanDuel, and it's because Kershaw is $200 cheaper than Lance McCullers is. So I like him, and going lower owned. So I like Kershaw quite a bit over there.
Okay. Stewie says, TJ, any love for Cleveland Dodgers full stacks with both starters potentially having short nights, relatively fatigued pens?
Dodgers full stack I like a lot, obviously, because they're the best stack, but Cleveland, not so much. They're fine, but I'm not big on it.
Okay. Stevie, coming to you. This is a question from Rick in the YouTube. Rick, hit us with the thumbs up if you don't mind. Paredes, Yelich, or Betts and Angel Martinez?
Yeah, I think it's Paredes, Yelich. We didn't talk a lot about Brewers. They're perfectly fine today. Bayo is more of a ground ball pitcher. The reason that I have hesitation against Yelich is he is a massive ground ball pitcher. He's going to hit a lot of ground balls in this spot. So I still think I prefer the Yelich side. But Martinez, Betts, I think is fine.
Okay. Beaner says your favorite cheap FanDuel GPP pitcher. Does that count as Kershaw? Is that what you said?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Kershaw is the answer. Hey, guess what? We're doing a good job on all the questions. If you've got anything else, get them in. We'll hang out here for another 20 seconds or so. You guys got any lunch plans going? Stevie?
Oh, I have no idea what my wife is making, but I'm starving. Like,
I'm so hungry right now.
I had an early dinner last night because of volleyball practice, and like I'm at that point where I need food. I am a big guy. I need food.
Yeah, I feel that. TJ, you got any lunch plans going on? What's cooking?
I have not thought about it. I got 2 expert surveys to write as soon as we are off of here, and then I hopefully am going to try and sneak to the gym. Then I'll have lunch right before we're back here for GrindersLive at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So
what time is it where you're at?
It's 11 a.m. right now.
Oh my God, I cannot wait. Rob,
I eat immediately. I wake up and I immediately. Oh, okay.
I had breakfast before the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure here. We need a meteorologist bomb of the day. I've got you covered here. It's going to be in that Tampa Bay game because it has to be a weather bomb. Who was the better pitcher? Tampa was going against the better pitcher. So who's the other team in the game, Stevie? Minnesota. Their home run hitter today is, I don't know anyone on that team, Jeffers.
Nice.
Right.
That is the best player to home run on that team.
Let's go. Nailed that shit.
Look at the hitting conditions in that game. Like, it gets into the 90s, the humidity. Like, it's just that.
Winds are blowing out.
Like, look at every other game on this slate: 58, 61, 66. I need to move out of Florida.
Yeah, dude.
It's so hot right now. Yeah.
Go Collect says, how was the Memorial Day barbecue, Roth? It was excellent. Thank you for asking. The chef crushed it as always. Good to have a chef in the family. It was kind of standard burgers, chicken, but just good, They just
I grilled some burgers and like one of those nice little pool days. Yeah.
Same.
That probably will be what I had for lunch, is because I have been doing a lot of barbecued burgers and hot dogs lately, and we still have a few of them in the fridge.
Nice. Yeah. My wife is out of town for 3 days, and it's just me with the kids and with I just got my ass kicked so hard this morning by the kids. So I was gonna say
that sounds.
That's me.
Today's the last day. Today's the last day of school for my kids. So
yeah, I just got owned this morning. I'm ready. I'm gonna rally. I'm gonna regroup for tonight. But man, I took a whooping this morning. Luis Severino versus Houston in single entry. TJ.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all because, like I said, I think almost any of those cheap pitchers you can play. I think that I like Severino just because Houston's probably going to be the chalkiest offense on the slate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man. Brandon pointing out, hey, grilled burgers and you went to the pool, Stevie. That's why you don't leave Florida.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
that's true.
I
That's
play
true.
golf year round.
Yeah.
I do baseball pitching lessons year round. So like, yeah, I get it.
In the winter, I would definitely way rather be where you guys are. In the summer, I'm so happy to be here.
Do you have a lot of bugs? Because I've heard, like, obviously in Florida and in Houston, we have a ton of mosquitoes all year, essentially. But I've heard that up north, when it does get warm, the bugs come out like a swarm. Is that true? And is that something that happens in Saskatoon?
Only specifically when, like, if we get a day where it's like it rains for 3 days and then it's 20, and then it's, sorry, I forgot to switch to Fahrenheit, 80 degrees the next day. Then we'll get a decent amount, but like nothing crazy by any means. Like I've had probably like 3 or 4 mosquito bites so far this year.
Oh, okay.
And it's like the next week 83, 85, 79, 84, 80, 70, 70, 70.
Oh, you made it.
Oh, just the perfect time.
Yeah. Jeff asked DK cash pitchers. Shout out to Dean who answered. Just Peralta and Lopez is the cash pairing there. Shout out to Go Collect in the chat who said he smoked some barbecue ribs and grilled some corn. Oh God, grilled corn is
grilled corn. Yeah, so good.
I just slather it in butter and salt and pepper, and it's got that smoky flavor. Woo.
Oh, grilled corn on some like Mexican tacos. Oh,
yes, yeah, about that. Guess what? We are just like 3-4 minutes until lock, but we did answer all the questions. So I think we are going to clear out of here a couple minutes early so we can get some grub. Let's do it. So for Stevie, for TJ. Oh, TJ, hang on. Dan says we're 6 short. We're 6 likes short. He says, can you throw us a bone? And maybe this is a good way to end it. Are you going to help him out? Are you going to throw him a bone with a 4th Spidey bomb?
Absolutely not. All you got to do is go over and give a little click. Like, throw us a bone. We just gave 2 hours of free content, and all we ask is that you click a button. So we got to get up to 150.
Coming with the hammer. I'm going to pull up YouTube. We'll see. By the time I pull it up, it might have already been there. We shall see.
147. 3
I love chat. I'll give a home run out. Sorry, TJ. I love chat.
That's okay.
Like, chat's my favorite thing. So Matt Chapman to hit a home run today. There you go, chat. Dan, that's for you, Dan.
There we go.
And by the way, my stall tactic work.
I love chat. 150 likes. Now I love chat as well. Shout out to chat. Get up to 150. Spidey bomb number 3 plus 675 today. What's with these great odds? We are going back to the Athletics. Lawrence Butler plus 675 to knock one out of the park.
Got it. And what a way to end the show. Excellent stuff. We've answered the questions. We've given you the bombs, the Spidey bombs as well. Talk some pitchers, talk some hitters, certainly talk some lunch, which I'm going to go partake in right about now. So for Stevie and for TJ and for our wonderful production crew, always working hard. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you later on today. You have been crushed.